What is up, nation? We thought we'd stop by and visit, talk about what's going on. It's off season, but things be happening. We got my boy Twan up in this piece. We have our special A Train who found some time to be with us from the train station, and then well, needs no introduction. But I'll do it anyway. We got Black, the quarterback. So we put it all together, and oh, we'll get him back. We're going to be able to kind of go over what's been happening, right? We have a complete coaching staff now. Filled that out, nice. Early too. I think last year we didn't have a coaching staff for another like month or so. But we did have a lot of head coaches on it. So
Sure
that
did.
that was the thing. This time, it's more like a well-run staff. People who've actually done the job recently they do. But you know who's still here? Do you know who's still here? Joe Philbin.
I thought you was gonna say Marvin Lewis.
I thought I was going to say that too. But apparently, he's not necessarily here. Or there. Or maybe really anywhere. So we'll see. And
Yo, I'm here.
yes, we got you. The A
Ah.
train is back at the station. All right. So well, we were just talking about how we filled out the staff, and Joe Philbin is still here. So it's another one of the holdovers. But yeah, offensive assistant, that sort of thing. So it's gonna be interesting. They completed the staff by adding, Marcus Robinson as a cornerback position coach. They also from the Gators added Bayal Rasul. He will be just kind of defensive assistant, helping with the secondary. And then Joe Woods, who we added, would be over the safety position and the defense passing game coordinator. So
You said Rasul Douglas?
no. Bayal Rasul from Florida. Did the same, assistant defensive back coach at Florida, and now we'll be moving up. We also brought a coach from, assistant coach from Ohio State. We're coming up with along with Chip Kelly. So filling out the staff with some experience and stuff like that. No huge names or anything, but solid. I think good choices all around. Nothing shocking. So there's an article up on Patreon with that I did. It's got the whole staff and stuff. So if you can check that out, you can. So what's up, Pizzle? You got Raider Gabe up in this piece. Yeah. And salute to y'all. They should bring Rasul Douglas back, huh? Speaking of funny.
Hey, speaking of, and I know this is a little off topic, but it's kind of tied in. Ohio State's been making some moves. You know what I'm saying? They got old girl Patricia over there for their defense. So obviously people have been plucking from Ohio State. I'll just say it like that. That's what it seems like. Everybody's plucking now from Ohio State, and they trying to re-up. So yeah.
Well, they already last year they plucked from Michigan, so they can't go back to the same branch too many times, right? You gotta pick it off a new tree or something. They all out last year.
I guess that's it. I guess that's the trend, right? You know, it was like
Mhm.
they won the championship, so I'm just going.
I mean, if you can't beat them, join them. So
True.
kind of the same thing, right? Um, Ohio State.
So
That may not be the last. Uh, that may be the last Ohio State alumni to be added to the Raiders roster. So if we look at it, I mean, we have a need at the running back position, right? And the Ohio State has two running backs that are appealing. Um, People are kind of split down the middle about who they like more. Which one of the backs do you guys like more from Ohio State? Um, what's your vote for?
I like Henderson.
Like Anderson?
Yeah, I've said that a few times. There's just something about Henderson for me. Like I know that Judkins is a little more of the bigger back. He has more, you know, typically what you would call him the power back, but I think there's something with Henderson where if he has a gap, you bet whoever the linebacker and safety is, you better be getting there quick because
Yeah,
if he can get through that, if he can get through the line and you know what I'm saying, at least make that linebacker slip a little bit, he's off.
yeah,
He's gone.
yeah. He's legitimately fast. I'm assuming he's going to run in the 4.4 range and not in the high part of it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, depends on how guys run, right? Sometimes you come out the blocks bad and you run a 4.5, even though you're not a 4.5 guy. So we'll see. But yeah,
Now,
he looks fast.
Hotspot, I'll ask you this because you were talking and it just hit me right then. Are you really, in regards to running backs, are you really sold on what their 40 is? Because
So for me,
and the reason why I say that is because I think that, you know, sometimes the 40 time it shows one thing, of course. You know, obviously it shows that they can get to that level.
right,
But I've
yeah,
seen guys that ran like a 4.5 and still break away from everybody on the field. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yes.
does it really?
So for
So
me, I look at, I mean, the 40 time is a starting point, but then you also need to be looking at the 10-yard split.
got it.
That's a huge thing. Like, what's the acceleration like, right? And then also, you know, 3-cone is huge for any skill position player, right? So, you know, they all get weighted pretty strongly for me. And like for receivers, 3-cone is more important than 40 time. 3-cone and first 10, right? You can run a 4.6, but then, you know, if you're coming out the blocks and really have quickness and then you have agility, then you're Hunter Renfro. Right. And that's actually how his athletic profile looked. So it was like a smart thing to bet on him, right? Now, so that's like Fizzle said, yeah. Game speed. It's different than running the 40. And yeah, the game speed is what are you doing in those first 10 yards? Because that's about as far as you're running in one direction ever in football. Okay. Like
Right.
typically, like it's unless it's just a huge
Exactly.
play, right?
Like
Right.
when do you actually see a running back actually be able to run entirely straight on any play, you know?
Right.
So like and I know that information. I just wanted to, you know, for those that may not necessarily know that and kind of
Mm-hmm.
getting prepare us for the combine and the draft and, you know, stuff like that. When you start seeing these certain events, you know, hold a little more weight for whatever position that is. So yeah, it's good
Mm-hmm.
to know, like you said, the 10-yard split and the, you know, all of that, because again, like you said, that holds I believe it holds a lot more weight also with the running backs over the 40
Absolutely.
to me.
Yeah. Your 10-yard split, 3-cone, vert, your vertical jump for running backs and also receivers. So that's explosion. That's quick twitch muscle. That shows me like you can make those explosive plays, and so that has more to do with your ability to be successful than I think long speed as a running back, right? Josh Jacobs ran like a basically 4.6, I think. Like it wasn't great, right? He got faster as he got older, he got bigger and stronger, but I mean, he's not blazing, right? But he sure in the hell starts, stops, and gets going, you know. So
what did Henry run? Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, I think he ran a 4.55.
Nah.
Yeah, but he's huge, so that matters too, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Black know what I'm saying. We talk about football speed versus 40 speed and stuff like that. So, do you like the kid Judkins or Henderson? Were from Ohio State? Did you get a chance to look at those two? No?
I don't know who neither one of them is.
Same.
This is what I love it. That's perfect. He's gonna go in there, blank slate, no preconceived ideas, and we'll see how they play as actual pros. But yeah, they're both pretty damn dynamic at Ohio State. I'm not gonna cry either way. I like the explosion that you see from Henderson, so kind of partial to that. It's usually a little bit harder to find. We'll see.
So what round they went in? What round would you say those two backs go in?
See, the combine's really going to change things. It's hard to say at this point, right? Because if they run certain 40 times, it makes everything different, right? And just because somebody is fast on tape doesn't mean that it always perfectly converts to 40 time, because that one is track and one is football. To be honest, like a 40-yard, run is a lot of it is on your ability to come out of the blocks, right? Like if you ever ran track, that is a huge your start, right? Like proper running form and all that kind of stuff, right? And all that's great, but none of it really totally matters in a football game, right? Because you don't run like that, right? And so they're measuring like overall raw speed, but it's not like a lot of it is based on track technique, right? Can you come out of the blocks fast? Do you keep your head down? Don't stand up too straight, too fast. All these things are awesome, but then right? What does it apply to how you're going to play in the football game? No, not really, right?
What do you think about Jenny and Jenny's stance? About how Jenny stands up and doesn't hunch when he gets the ball.
So there's been some successful up and down runners in the NFL history. Eric Dickerson ran like that. You can run. I mean, honestly, Darren McFadden ran like that. So you can, run that way and sometimes get away with it, especially if you're really talented. There is an advantage of, kind of being able to see the game and see where you're going a little bit better, right? Because you're not hunched over. But you're prone to take hits, right? So it could be a situation where durability becomes a concern. Right? Is he overly huge? No, he's like kind of normal size. I think he's like my size, right? Like 5'11" or something, and like 210 pounds, something like that. Right? So he's not huge. So like he is getting hit by really larger players, right? So you probably want to protect yourself when you do that. That's why you get low man wins. But he seems to be able to, stay healthy as a college player and all that kind of stuff. So it may just not be an issue for him, but it is something you have to kind of look at. Like, wait a minute, that's different. And there's a reason why they teach you a technique that's not that. But
then Scatterbo, right? Scatterbo, right? What round does he go in? 2, 3?
What round should he go in, or what round does he go in?
What round does he go in? So I guess my question is, do we? Because the way it looks, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could get Shittleward to fall to 6, and if we do that, we're taking him, right? If he falls to 6, we talked about this earlier. We're taking him at 6, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's without moving up. Now, second round pick. What running backs are in the third round? Because we need a running back very badly, right? We also need, like you and me both know, probably another offensive lineman. We need a wide receiver. Everybody knows that.
Mm-hmm.
Another lockdown corner. We don't know if Hobbs is going to get paid or not. We talked about linebacker earlier, so we're good on linebacker. Safety we're good at. Free safety we're good at. So really, wide receiver, unless we have free agency, we can get a wide receiver in free agency. We can get a couple of things in free agency. Maybe you get a running back in free agency. If you had an idea for that.
I think you need at least one veteran running back you add. Don't you think?
Better. Hey, Twan in the back. Twan say he in the back. Sorry about that.
Oh, he in the back. Okay, let me get him in. Let's get you up here.
Oh,
what's up, bro? Sorry about that.
Appreciate
we got you up here. But yeah, no, we definitely need to get at least one veteran back up in here.
Aaron Jones?
No, I don't think you need to go that far, man. I would go like, like I was saying, the kid that somebody who is like still young, right? Not necessarily somebody who has a huge name, but maybe somebody that's familiar with the Pete Carroll and the coaching staff and what the offense might want, because they've played for them before and can help, and then is versatile with some speed. You know what I mean? Because we got to replace Amir. Basically.
Yeah, we tried to do that with Madison, right? Like go get a young running back that is a backup to somebody, but could be a starter if he had more carries, right?
Right.
So they kind of thought they was gonna do that with Madison, and it didn't pan out that way. But same concept, but don't get no running back that's in his 30-something, what I'm saying, looking for his last contract, got a little bit in the tank. Nah, we don't need that. We need somebody that's trying to prove that they should have been starting this whole time in their career. Somebody that got that kind of chip on their shoulder.
Exactly.
Maybe Najee.
Najee has been starting though, and he gonna.
I'm just saying, he's younger.
He is younger. I'm like, give me like a Travis Homer.
That price might be way too high. We might need to cut that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it's not that Najee isn't a good running back. It's just because he's got the usage and there's a whole lot of tape on him and stuff like that. He's gonna want a whole lot. He's automatically believing that he's that franchise guy.
Yeah.
So there's going to be no, in his mind, there's going to be no competition.
Yeah, and he's from the town too, so he's gonna feel like it's supposed to be.
Like it's supposed to be given to him, and Pete Carroll don't play that.
Well, I mean, Najee Harris got wear and tear, but so did Josh Jacobs. So look what Josh Jacobs did this year. So he had 5 years of wear and tear. Josh Jacobs did, and
we don't the money though.
I don't think you fully understood what I was saying. It's not in the sense of, the wear and tear of things. It's just when you've been a feature back like that, when you go to another team, there's going to be expectations of I'm going to assume this role, especially when you're not a running back that hasn't fallen off. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you were a feature back and then your play fell off and now you're getting kicked out of your team, the team that you were on to a new team. That's not going to be the case with Najee.
No.
Like it was with Jacobs, is that what you're saying? Because Jacobs, the Packers didn't overpay for Jacobs. The Packers paid a good price for Jacobs, and look what they got.
that's because of what the organization felt. And it could be just one person. We could put it all on Telesco, but
we will put it all on Telesco.
It was based on how the organization felt of Josh Jacobs, not the fans, not the Raider Nation. The organization
could have got Josh Jacobs too. They could have outbid the Packers, and they didn't. That's
it wasn't about outbidding. It wasn't even about. I guess it was about outbidding the Packers, but the thing is, Josh Jacobs just wanted a comparable. He won a comparable contract with the Raiders, in lieu of what everybody else was talking about. The thing about Najee is this, though, like, it's not even comparable in the sense that we just need a competent running back. I don't care if they do got tape on them. We know Najee ain't gonna average 2 yards a carry all season. We know that, and I'm not even a big Najee fan like that. But we need a competent running back. But now, if it's gonna crack the bank, it ain't gotta break it. If it's gonna crack it, then let's explore other options, because we got a few holes to shore up. But the running back is one where we don't need to fumble that position. We don't need to fumble there,
especially with a quarterback that we have no idea who that's going to be. The running back is the most important position in that whole scheme. Is the quarterback needs a good running back to offset what he can or cannot do.
Absolutely. And like you said, we're trying to ease in a new starting quarterback, regardless of whether he is extremely young or a little bit older. Riddle me this.
Yeah, let's get into this.
If a older yet once targeted and somehow star-crossed quarterback wanted to play here, what would we say? What would we say if that quarterback was the quarterback that Devontae Adams ran to?
Yeah. No. I'm good.
Hey, no, but to keep it
Aaron
solid,
Rodgers.
But to keep it solid, though, my knee-jerk reaction is no. But, like, you really can't go wrong with that. I don't care what people say. Like, if y'all sit there and think Pete Carroll can come in and install himself with his accolades and all that, why couldn't Aaron Rodgers do the same thing? Like, y'all, like, he didn't play bad, and you got to give him a year to come off the injury. So really, this is the Aaron Rodgers that people should be wanting if you want Aaron Rodgers, because the last year version of Aaron Rodgers is not going to be the best version of Aaron Rodgers coming off the injury. So I'm not totally opposed to it. Like, what are the other options? Sam Darnold? Like, please. We saying we'd rather get Sam Darnold than Aaron Rodgers. That's just people thinking with their emotions and not football.
Yeah, I don't want either one. I think Sam Darnold that's a waste of money. I think that's a waste of money. He's like, I'm not going to compare him to somebody that we all used to know, but he has a ceiling that once that ceiling is topped, like, he had a good run last year until he didn't. And as far as Rodgers goes, I just think that Rodgers put himself above the team to the point that for what Pete Carroll's trying to build in his locker room is cancerous, because he's trying to build some kind of team camaraderie. And to bring Aaron Rodgers in, Aaron Rodgers would be perfect with the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers would be perfect with the Vikings for a 1-year deal to take Aaron Rodgers to the Vikings and let their quarterback, can't remember his name right now, sit there and learn on Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. But in our situation with Pete Carroll for 3 years, or maybe 4 years, depending on if he gets an extension, I don't want Aaron Rodgers in my locker room for a year, probably only a year. We're not talking about 2 years. Let's just say that he plays for a year. He's there for a year and he's out. Like, that does us no good at all.
He wouldn't come in for 1 year. That's not how that would play out.
You think he does?
But my question to you is, what makes him a cancer? Because people throw this around, and I'm trying to figure out, like, is that because the narrative behind how the media and how he addresses the media that we want to call him a cancer? Because he's not the reason why the Jets didn't win. They brought him in to do his part, and the defense was supposed to be elite like they were, and they're not no more. That window closed, their defensive window closed. So it wasn't Aaron Rodgers the issue.
Well, how about the fact that Aaron Rodgers didn't show up to training camp to do a Netflix special?
So what?
He missed out on all of his training camp with all of his rookie wide receivers.
So
do
what?
A Netflix special, dude. If you're a veteran quarterback, like a Russell Wilson or some veteran quarterback who's about your team, you don't not show up to training camp with a bunch of dudes who don't catch balls to do a Netflix special, bro.
Bro, stop it. It's players that don't come to training camp all the time. And we talking about training camp. You really think Aaron Rodgers is going to play bad because he missed training camp? And you can say, well, the receivers won't get the timing right. Their timing ain't going to be right regardless. And you don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to put in time with them when he's at the facility? Like,
no, I do not. No, I do not.
Yeah,
and
you don't know Aaron Rodgers. Well, you don't know Aaron Rodgers then. Like y'all think Aaron Rodgers?
How well do you know Aaron Rodgers, Black?
How well do I know him? I know that he worked with his. I know that he worked with his receivers. I know that ain't never been a narrative that when he was at the facilities that he wasn't a leader.
Well, how come when Devontae went to New York, Devontae didn't do shit, Black? How come when that happened,
Devontae didn't do shit?
What?
What you mean Devontae didn't do shit? I see Devontae Adams.
Devontae would have had a mediocre year with the Raiders. He had a mediocre year with the Jets with his dream team quarterback, bro. He went to the Jets to be with Devontae Adams, or Devontae Adams went to the Jets to be with Aaron Rodgers, thinking his whole season was going to turn around, right? Nothing happened.
No.
Devontae Adams was Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers had a mediocre season. Aaron Rodgers is not the Aaron Rodgers that you think that you knew.
No, it's not. You don't know what I think about where he at. I know that he's better than Aiden O'Connell.
Well, I believe that.
I know that he's better than Gardner Minshew.
I agree with that.
I know he's better than Shador. I know he's better than Cam Ward. I know he's better than Sam Darnold. I know he's better than Jameis Winston. I know he's better than who else you want to throw up there?
I mean, it depends on if he plays more than 3 games, I suppose.
Here we go. That's
how did he play last year?
Any player can go out there and get hurt like that.
He played more than Sam Darnold. He played more than Gardner Minshew and AOC. He played 17 games. He was there the whole time. And that was right off the Achilles. He'll be more healthy this year.
For sure.
2 years removed.
Well, then I'm gonna sit this one out, but I disagree. So I'm just gonna say that I disagree.
Totally fair.
No, that's fair. You could disagree, but why are you disagreeing? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Why?
Right, because you think he a cancer.
Correct.
Right.
He's not always, if you're in a Pete Carroll offense, right? He's gonna want you there during training camp. Aaron Rodgers like, I don't want to show up.
How do you know he wouldn't be there? How do you know he wouldn't come?
Well, he didn't show up for the Jets, right?
Bro.
Well, how do you know he's going to show up?
Is the Jets situation the same situation as the Raiders?
Is the Raiders the same situation as the Jets? It can go either way.
It's not. No, the answer is no either way. Mm-hmm. So Pete Carroll goes to Aaron Rodgers and say, hey, we need a veteran quarterback that can come in here a couple years. We're going to trade up and go get Shador, but we want him to learn just like you learned, right? We want you to come in without none of the sideshow shenanigans. What are your issues? What are your concerns? And let's address those right now. He get them out on the table, and they address him, and he shows up. Then what?
Then I'd say that you go back to Green Bay and he had nothing to do with training
Oh
Jordan Love. He wanted nothing to do with Jordan Love. He wasn't trying to train anybody trying to take his spot, right?
Okay.
What makes you think all of a sudden that Aaron Rodgers has been humbled for some reason, bro? Aaron
It ain't
Rodgers
gotta be about humble. It's about being. It's about business. Aaron Rodgers know he don't have no 4 or 5 years left in the league. He don't have the same. He don't have the same leverage. You don't have the same leverage. So
have the Capri show every other week, bro. He's not about business.
You don't know
he's
that,
about
bro.
his own. He's about his own.
So why did he play 17 games last year then if he's not about business?
So he can make money. So we can get.
You just don't
money.
personally like him. Just say that. It's
I
not
have no
football.
Rodgers,
That's not football related. That what we're talking about. Because if you thinking you said, well, because he didn't want to train Love. Maybe he didn't like Love. Maybe he didn't like the franchise no more.
I think you'd be better off with Russell Wilson than you would be Aaron Rodgers. I said it. You'd be better off with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson would come to the Raiders than Aaron Rodgers. Russell Wilson mentored his quarterback, right? Russell Wilson showed up to his training camp. Aaron Rodgers does not give a fuck about anybody.
What are you talking about? Russell Wilson barely had a job in the NFL. He was almost out the league.
Did Russell Wilson do a pretty decent job last year?
He played for the league minimum. He had to show up. And he was injured. But then you want to act like he did something great. He came to training camp and was hurt half the year. So now what?
He was getting paid by the Broncos last year. That's why
I don't care who he was getting paid for. He wasn't on the field. Aaron Rodgers played 17 games.
Aaron Rodgers was on the field, and Aaron Rodgers was mediocre.
Oh my God! And what was Russell Wilson?
Beyond mediocre.
Oh my God! You know what?
For the games that he played,
I'm cool.
They almost made the playoffs.
I'm cool.
For real. All right, hold on.
I'm cool.
This is actually perfect, guys, because
cool.
with my foresight, I did a statistical comparison between Russell Wilson last year and Aaron Rodgers, because I knew this would be, a topic.
So you have the stats?
Yes, I do. So I put them through my trusty.
This will clear out the whole conversation.
Yeah, like this year. Hold on. This year he had 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, and that's mediocre.
I'm waiting for the stats.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so we look at it. Russell Wilson completed 63.7% of his passes over 11 games for 2,482 yards. So accuracy there, according to my statistics, would be 7.5-ish. Okay. He demonstrated adequate arm strength last season. It's never been elite, but it's good. He had really good mobility last year still, Russell Wilson. 8 out of 10 for mobility when you look at his tape. Decision-making was on point. He actually had a really good touchdown to interception ratio, 16-5. Okay. The issue was 33 sacks, right? But he also made some plays under pressure at the same time, right? The thing that he has an advantage of is that he's probably a pretty damn good system fit for anything that Chip Kelly wants to run. You look at Aaron Rodgers last year. Aaron Rodgers was 8th in the league in passing yards, 3,897 yards. So top 10. Arm strength was still there. He actually was throwing the ball deeper than other quarterbacks last year. The thing was, at 41, he had very limited mobility. He looked like AOC out there.
How many sacks did he have?
So let's see. have to get to that.
But even if you and so Russell played 11 games that had 20. How many yards?
33 sacks actually in those 11 games.
33 sacks in 11 games. And how many? We're gonna find out how many.
You realize that the Jets have a better team than the Steelers do, right? On the
Here we go.
line,
Here
right?
we go. No, they don't.
No.
The Steelers went to the playoffs.
Well, the Jets had Aaron Rodgers.
And the Jets didn't go to the playoffs. They're not a better team.
Jets are picking right behind us, I think.
Like, bro, see, this is what I'm saying, man. And then even if we add 6 games to Russell Wilson, his numbers ain't gonna add up to Aaron Rodgers. But let's just say that they added up perfectly. So you gonna sit there and tell me that Russell Wilson had a great season and Aaron Rodgers had a mid-season, even though their numbers is comparable? Like, what the fuck?
I would say I would rather have Russell Wilson on the Raiders than I would Aaron Rodgers, what I would tell you.
But Aaron that wasn't what we was talking about, though.
In all respect, I really don't know you like that. You did say that Aaron Rodgers was mediocre, and based on these numbers, I don't see where there's mediocrity in those numbers. So I personally will respectfully disagree.
And he came off an Achilles.
Yep.
Off of Achilles.
You guys are right, dude. Like I'm 100%, dude. I'm all about.
Now I agree with you that I would rather have Russell Wilson than Aaron Rodgers. I would agree with you there because of a system fit. Yeah, I would totally agree with you there. But if they pick Aaron Rodgers over Russell Wilson, I could understand why.
Oh, I would understand it. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would understand it.
Yeah, respect.
Russell Wilson slightly, when they were healthy, slightly outperformed Aaron Rodgers. If you're looking at touchdown to interception ratio, completion percentages were very comparable. That sort of stuff. Obviously, the adaptability that Wilson has, scrambling, improvising, that, probably not going to see a ton of that from Rodgers, even, at the 41, 42 years old.
Probably need a little bit of that with our O-line situation, possibly, with Cole Miller.
Well, the thing is, he won't hold the ball, though. Like, the ball will be out of his hands so fast.
Yeah.
He's hard to sack, right? It's the way that Brady was hard to sack. He ain't avoiding sacks by running around. He's avoiding sacks by being on schedule, reading the defense, pre-snap, right? And being extremely intelligent.
Camp, right? You have to show up at training camp and get your timing right with your receivers. Is exactly what I said.
No.
And if he doesn't show up at training camp again,
pre-snap has nothing to do with timing. Okay.
And he's selfish and decides he's going to do another documentary instead of showing up at training camp. That's why I said I wouldn't want him.
Well, let's assume we can get him to come to training camp.
If he was all in, that's different. But Aaron Rodgers is also different. That's what I was saying.
Well, he also came back really quickly from a torn Achilles. So people were in his training camp. Well, he tore his Achilles after training camp. So that means he was back in playing football less than a year after he tore his Achilles. So that has something to do with it.
He comes back and he's a Raider. So is everybody in this room down for bringing Devontae back too? Because I'm also not down for that. I'm not having Devontae come back here. Devontae can suck it, dude. Devontae can go to this is just me because I'm salty. Devontae can go to the 49ers where he wants to go. I don't want Devontae back here. You gonna follow his boy back here? No, dude. Like Devontae can kick rocks, dude.
Who
left us for Aaron Rodgers? Why? Aaron Rodgers comes here. You want to come back? Bye, Felicia.
Why did he say he left though? You remember that?
He left us for Aaron Rodgers. He thought he was gonna have a better situation. Turns out he's probably in a worse situation, and he wants to come groveling back. Hey guys, let me come back in. Aaron Rodgers is over there. I'd be like, kick rocks, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck Devontae.
What did he say? What did he say was the reason he left?
Those are the wrong facts, sir.
So you all are about getting Devontae back?
I didn't say
left?
that. I did not say that. I said your statement on why Devontae left are wrong facts, sir.
All right.
You want to fill him in?
So the reason why Devontae left was because he wanted a quarterback that could actually deliver him the ball.
How'd that turn
And
out?
they kept throwing Minshew at him, and he wasn't throwing the ball where the ball needed to be. He did like AOC, and he liked how AOC was throwing the ball to him, but because the coaching staff was so ignorant and stuck on how Minshew was going to run the offense, that didn't happen.
Wait a minute.
So he said, I'm not going to go out there and have a quarterback kill me, because remember, there was a few times where Minshew threw some medicine balls.
I saw him.
Right? Let's be honest.
I saw him.
And then he decided he even decided to go back and try to find Derek Carr again.
Bro.
If you remember all the facts of that, and it was all because he wanted a quarterback that could simply get the ball where it needed to be. And the Raiders were not going and not selecting the right quarterback to do that.
I'm going to go with his actual statements.
What happened?
He made statements as to why he wanted to be traded, and he said it was because he had no faith in the management.
Or they didn't want to pay him, just like they didn't pay Josh Jacobs.
Okay, but that would be who? The management. So that would be the GM and at worst head coach.
Not around him.
Not quarterback.
I don't want Devontae Adams back. I don't want him back.
Look, check this out.
We agreed that we didn't like the GM and the head coach, but we're mad at him about that.
He still agreed on that.
But so the management part, I can see why he wanted to leave, and you can blame it on the quarterbacks if you want to, because that does play a part. But it's not necessarily like a reason why you want to leave the team just that by itself, right? Unless you was out there real like that. Because if we're gonna be honest, Devontae ran a lot of wrong routes and he dropped hella passes. So, so the thing about the quarterback situation, Minshew wasn't running that offense. What Minshew was doing was running the offense in the sense of, I'm throwing it to the open person. Devontae wants somebody that's going to lock in on him and throw him the ball. And then when we started doing that, when Minshew started doing that, Minshew throwing a hitch, he want to run an out. Like, come on, man. This nigga throwing you a screen, but you want to run up the field and making it look like making it look like Minshew messing up. Then you put AOC in. You do like AOC arm better, which is fair, whatever. But he can't even stand up long enough to throw you the ball. So now you mad because really you ain't got no quarterback. So you said, hey, if I got a chance to team up with somebody I know that could quarterback, then that's a plus for me. So he went over there and that's what he did. They played a half a season together. They got hella receivers over there, young talent and everything. So they really had like a bunch of receivers on the field, and he did play decent. So if they had an off season to play together, and I'm sure Aaron Rodgers would show up to said off season, but he not now because he's not with the team. But then they would have worked that out. So Devontae is just trying to find the best fit for himself at the end of his career, and he's going to use whatever excuse to get wherever he want to go.
If that was the case, like if legit, like Aaron Rodgers went to the Raiders, Devontae is like, I'm coming to the Raiders, and they both went back to the Raiders and did their offseason, and they planned on going out together like a storm, that would pretty much neglect everything that I just said. And I would say that would be awesome. If both those things happen and they were like, hey, let's put 110% into everything we're doing right now and just shut everybody the fuck up like A-Train and just shut them up. Let's go out there and dominate. Dude, they could. They probably could. And on our team, if Devontae had Aaron Rodgers from the beginning of the season, a full-in, all-in Aaron Rodgers, win now, I'm done fucking around, I'm going to win a Super Bowl before I retire, Aaron Rodgers, dude, that could be something special. So if that is what will transpire, I'm on board. I don't see that transpiring, but if it happens, dude, I'll eat my what do you say? What's the term you use? I'll eat my
words.
Well, word, but you had another word for it in one of the videos we were watching.
I'll eat my hat. Usually say.
Oh no, I'll be saying hella shit.
So it could go both ways, but that if Aaron Rodgers comes in 1,000%, Devontae comes in 1,000%, we're like, fuck this, we're doing it, and they're under Pete Carroll and they're under Chip Kelly, and Chip Kelly runs a badass offense, and the defense just stuns out. Then, dude, I'll just be like, fuck, dude, I was wrong as fuck, dude. Like, I'll just shut up.
But what do we need Devontae Adams for? We don't even need Devontae Adams.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying he's like fucking Aaron Rodgers' best friend, so that'd be cool, right? And he's not gonna want as much money as he wanted before, because now, he ain't getting that. So I mean, he comes in for a minimal contract. Aaron Rodgers comes in for a 2-year deal, like you said, 2 years. I don't know what you pay a wide receiver like Devontae for 2 years. Like,
Devontae too headstrong to play for something less. He got a Taco Bell at his house, so he gonna want more money than he worth. So let him go on and do what he do somewhere else.
We just wants to go to the Niners. Does he want to go to the Niners?
He can go there too.
Black, we don't need Devontae, but we need a Devontae style of wide receiver. We need that number one wide receiver. I love Jacoby Myers, but I think his real, like, to kill opposing defenses is him getting that second corner. You know what I'm saying? And I think we just need that big body, you know what I'm saying, wide receiver. It doesn't have to be Devontae, but we need that guy for us.
Yeah, we do, but we don't. That's not a priority though, because that's not where we are. The bottom half of our weakness in our offense. Like we could legit go into the offseason. I mean, the next year with the receiving core that we have, with maybe a rookie or something in there, or some loose fit that we pick up, we could legit use those receivers. If we're gonna go get a quality running back, I'd rather focus on a running back than go get a quality wide receiver. Like I'd rather us go find a good, even if it's 2 running backs before we even go get a receiver.
And I'm with you, Black. Hey, look, if when everything closes, when the shop finally closes up, right, and we look at our roster and we didn't address wide receiver, but we got our running backs, our O-line is starting to look right. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we got that. Maybe not the starting quarterback, but we got that guy that's waiting his turn. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to the draft and all of that. So if it boils down to that and we didn't address wide receiver, I'm not going to be mad if we address everything else on the offense.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. But now we got a chance to go get a quality receiver at a quality rate. Then we might want to snatch him up.
DK Metcalf. What about DK Metcalf?
What would he want as far as compensation?
Well, I assume you're going to have to give the Seahawks at least a third round pick for DK Metcalf.
But how much does he make?
A starting ex receiver cap
who doesn't want to play with Geno Smith. He hates Geno Smith and he loves Pete Carroll.
Well, DK Metcalf is a little overrated, but okay. Anyway, I don't want to pay him top 5 receiver money.
But I hate that fact of because there's a lot of people that think, oh, we can get this guy on the homie discount, and that ain't gonna be the case.
That ain't gonna be the case, right? You
got to be somewhere close to the market of where these wide receivers are, and unfortunately, the market for what we're asking for, whether it's a quarterback, whether it's a wide receiver, they're gonna want something
top
in
billing.
the neighborhood.
Yeah, they're gonna want it.
Tyler Lockett, then he's gonna be a free agent.
But don't expect a homie discount. That's
no, but Tyler Lockett's a lot less than DK Metcalf.
Yeah, but is Tyler Lockett a number one receiver like that? I'd rather rock with who
I
we
think
got.
Jacoby Myers is better than Tyler Lockett.
Tyler Lockett at this point.
Tyler Lockett could be your number 2.
Yeah, but the thing is, you want to get what ideally you really want to get. Why I can't keep thinking of my man's name? What's his name?
T. Higgins.
Jacoby Myers. You want him on the second. You want him.
You counteracted every argument you just said when you said T. Higgins. You're talking about money. T. Higgins is gonna want the bag, bro.
I didn't say T. Higgins.
No, he did.
I said that because I thought that's what he was talking about is that style.
No, I'm talking about Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers needs to be on the slot on the slot corner. Like he really could do damage right there. I think that's where he normally plays. He's just now stepping into that X receiver spot, number 1 receiver spot, and he showed that he can hold that down. Now we can go get an X receiver. Then we'll be good. But I don't think we should break the bank for it. So Tyler Lockett ain't big enough of an X receiver to roll the coverage. We need somebody to be able to have the coverage rolled at least at points in the game.
Mike Evans, then?
Yeah, but he ain't going nowhere.
Oh well, I just want some ideas on who.
Yeah. Someone like Mike Evans. Yeah, someone like Mike Evans. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. You can go get a receiver out of college, a young receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who he is. As long as he got a big body, and he can run like a 4.4 and he can catch some passes where we can at least make them respect him because they got to respect Brock Bowers. So we take
the Arizona guy at number 6. We take the Arizona guy at number 6, right?
Don't take no receiver at 6, bro.
All right. Well, I'm just throwing it out there.
No, I'm just saying, don't take no receiver at 6.
What do we take? If Shador's not there, what do we take?
We're not staying at 6. I'm just telling y'all that.
You gonna move back?
Hey,
moving back. We moving up, bro.
We investing in the trenches if Shador's not there.
Yeah, but we're going to go get Shador though.
If
Shador's there, you take him, right?
We're going to go get one of them 2 quarterbacks. We're going to go do that. I'm like 90% positive that's what we're going to do. because for one, we got a GM that is volatile, a volatile GM, one that will pull the trigger on some, all right, we'll give y'all a third and a this and a that. Oh, that ain't gonna work. How about this and a this and a that? Like we got one of them type GMs. Telesco wasn't that type of GM. That's why everybody mad that he didn't even make a call to go try to get Jalen.
You said we're gonna get 2 running backs?
But we wouldn't gonna get him anyway. So Telesco was smart enough not to even embarrass himself. But either way it go, do I think we'll get 2 running backs? I don't know if we get 2 running backs, but we'll definitely get one, and we're gonna sign another one.
Okay. I think, to be honest with you, I think we need to draft 2 running backs. The running back class, you know what I'm saying? The as many running backs that are in there, there's so much talent in that running back room. So I would definitely want to have a cheap contract for 4 years on some running backs. So they could address running back for one of those thirds. It could be that Devontae third, and then maybe in the 6th round, well, I think we have another multiple. I think we got 2 or 3 in the 6th or something like that. Pull the trigger on another running back.
I think running back can wait, like you said. I think there's mad depth at running back, bro. We can wait on that and still get a good one and stuff. I feel like you're correct on that.
And by the time you get to the 6th round, that running back is not going to be. Obviously everybody can be, he got drafted in the 6th round. He was the, whatever. But obviously the value of the running back goes down. So that's why I said you at least get one in the third, because if you get one in the third, you know, you can almost say that some of them were actually should have been second rounders. You know what I'm saying? But they got pushed down because people were drafting quarterbacks and people were, you know, doing other things, you know, for other rooms. So there's going to be guys of value. You know what I'm saying?
Deep draft for running back.
That will fall down.
People talked about, somebody brought up Devin Neal earlier. He could be there in the third.
Yep.
Scatterbo. Right?
Yeah, Scatterbo, I like him. Can we go back real quick to free agent wide receivers that we think we could get? Like, because this legit, like, we need, like Black was talking about, a big fucking guy. We need an outside guy. On the outside is the big effing dude, right? And we got Jacoby and we got Trey Tucker. We need somebody else. And if it's not a rookie, like, is there anybody else you guys can think about besides dude from Tampa Bay that we were talking about earlier that's gonna be a free agent? And besides Tyler Lockett, besides Tyler Lockett and besides DK, you'd have to trade for him, but
look out for Keenan Allen, guys.
I don't want his old slow ass either, but he catch shit though.
Yeah, he does.
I'm talking about street clothes of the NFL.
Hey.
Yeah.
But he did play good last year though.
But fuck, he was a Charger.
He played good last year though. Hey, but now Mac Hollins is that guy. I just see that. I'm mad we even got rid of Mac Hollins.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
I won't say it was a mistake because I don't know what his situation was, but I will lean that it was a mistake because he been balling ever since. Like he been on different teams, but he been a factor on each one of them teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mac made a play in the I think it was the AFC Championship game, and
yeah, he was balling out.
Yeah.
They'll be stupid if they get rid of. They'll be stupid if they get rid of him.
We'll see what happens.
Who's Matt Collins playing for right now?
What's that?
Who's Matt Collins playing for?
Buffalo, I believe.
Yeah. Hey, they talking about your Christmas tree. Tell them that's not a Christmas tree. That's a Black History Month tree.
He said the Black History Month tree. Man,
is he tearing it up? Did he have a good year or what?
Yeah, I know he was in the playoffs. He had like 2 touchdowns in one game, I think.
So what did the chat overall think about Devontae? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, look it up real quick. Might as well.
Yay or nay on Devontae, chat. Give me a yes or no if you're.
So give him a poll. Put a poll up.
What the heck?
I think they're pretty damn capable here. Polls, probably not necessary. Give me an informal poll real quick, just kind of see what we think. Put a 1 in the chat if you want to.
Besides
Devontae, and then a 2, or if you don't, 1 is yes, 2 is no, or just no. That'll work too. You can just say no or yes. I read English, so I don't know, man. I don't know about that whole Devontae thing.
Well, nobody need no Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Hey, Twine back.
Oh, nice.
Don't nobody need Devontae ass back. We don't even know who the quarterback is. He's a diva. He's last of the dying divas. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta placate to him and give him who he want at quarterback, and we don't even know who our quarterback is. So you can't even fathom whether he'll come back here or not.
It would be a package deal thing with Aaron Rodgers. The only way I would consider it.
They both have to be 100% in on both proving everybody wrong and going out in a blaze of glory off the team Devontae left and Aaron Rodgers joined and winning the Super Bowl, them both retiring together, that would be like one of the most epic ends to a story you could ever have.
Man, do that shit somewhere else. Hey, put up EC Everett comment. Do that shit somewhere else. Nigga, we already tried to have the love affair with Derek Carr and Devontae, and that didn't work. So the one where he says, "I would
that's
rather."
what I'm saying, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't want Aaron Rodgers, dude. Like, that shit don't work.
The only reason why that didn't work is because the head coach was a cock blocker.
Exactly. He was a cock blocker. Exactly. It could have worked for sure. It was already working. That's a perfect word. He was a cock blocker. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I'm definitely not about bringing Derek Carr back here. I can tell you that. I'm anti that for sure.
Y'all. So
really?
The one the one where it says I would rather bring in several competent wide receivers. That one. Right. What y'all think about that?
Bring back Mac Hollins, get Josh Palmer, Tom Wilder. But see, this is the thing. We don't have room for 3 more guys to play.
What, a receiver?
Yeah.
Shit. Well, somebody gonna get cut.
And also
these guys.
Some of you guys may be enamored with Mac Hollins, but there was plenty of reports that came out that said Mac Hollins was running the wrong routes.
Yeah, he was. No, he did run wrong routes. But what that mean? The whole offense was running wrong routes.
I'm just saying, like, so.
No, I'm just saying too.
Yeah,
I see Devontae running into. I see Devontae Adams running into my little white boy I like. What's his name? Run Hunter Renfro all the time, like they was magnets. Like I'm like, what the hell's going on? And plus, like, Mac Hollins is 3 more years into the league now, also too. So I would think that he was a little bit more mature, because it's never a good thing when your running back your wide receiver running wrong routes. But I do know that Mac Hollins used to block, and I seen Josh Jacobs used to break on some of his blocking too. So I would take him and 2 more wide receivers, whoever those are, for $25 million, then pay Devontae $35, or pay DK $25. For sure, I would rather I would rather do that by committee. And then if DJ Turner can't make the team, if what's his name can't make the team because these new wide receivers came in, go to the practice squad.
And to Mac Hollins' defense, I think, one reason why his play was the way it was here also was because this was actually his almost full-time opportunity to actually be a wide receiver. Now, where he was, with Miami, he was primarily their special teams guy and maybe got 1 or 2 plays here and there. That really wasn't the case here. Like, we had him. Obviously, he did special teams, but, we relied on him a lot more at the wide receiver position. So, he was kind of learning how to play the position too.
That's fair. I just feel like
I agree.
Our receiving core, I think Trey Tucker is very talented. I think when he's paired with a quarterback to take advantage of his skill set, it shows up. And he's a serious threat. I thought there were points in the season he was more of a threat to defenses than Devontae Adams was. I think that DJ Turner is a heck of a 4th guy. I'm not going to sit here and fight over whether DJ Turner gets replaced by Highland Wallace or Josh Palmer. But I think the top 3 guys should play, and I think we need to let young speed on our team have reps, right? He is a problem when he has the ball in his hands because of that speed, and he's getting open. He had some of the best separation in our whole receiving core. So I don't think we should bury him.
We shouldn't, but we got a game plan for that. And the only way you can game plan for that is if you have threats on the other ends, because he's not going to line up at X or Z and just stretch the field like that because he's too small. But now you put him in the slot and you got him in.
He played outside almost exclusively so far.
I know, That's not where he should be maximized at, though. I'm not saying he can't play it, just like I'm not saying that Myers can't play the X. But what I'm saying is, if you put him off the ball, I'm talking about in motion, right, and then take off. And you know what I'm saying? That forces the defense to do something, especially when your quarterback is looking right at him. And then the defense is going to go this way, and Bowers going that way. And then you got a spy on Bowers, and now you got this guy running a post behind that. You're going to throw this open post as one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? But now if you put him on the edge and try to stretch the field, you can cover 3 him. You know what I'm saying? You can just cover 3 him and just hope he don't run by you. You know what I'm saying? And it don't take much game planning for that. So if you put him in the slot and you put a young receiver at X and have your boy at Z, I don't know. It's all about matchups. Because I think he is competent. Now, DJ Turner is he's a waffler. He can go a wobbler. He can go either way. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do enough to be like, we don't need him. But then he did good enough to be like, yeah, he need a Raider jersey. You know what I'm saying?
DJ Turner is that gadget guy for us. He's really that gadget guy.
And he's really good on special teams, so he's probably making the team regardless.
Yeah.
Right? So really the only player you got to worry about is making sure we don't bury Trey Tucker, right? And I think you may be right. That's the Tyreek Hill treatment, basically, where they just, have him in motion. That's what made it so difficult to deal with a lot of times.
Kelly's going to be real good at using the motion. Chip Kelly, he's going to be real good at using
that's what I'm saying. Chip Kelly with this guy, Chip Kelly will use him properly, and speed is a thing that he relishes. So I think he's going to be a player who has increased effectiveness in this offense. So yeah, I'm high on Trey Tucker.
There's so many ways this team can go. Depending on how Chip Kelly and Pete Carroll decide to run this thing. I mean, the biggest thing about Pete Carroll is he's an old head. He's like an Andy Reid. He's like a Harbaugh. He's in our division. I would not feel very comfortable having a young dude in there with those guys. But when you think about it, if you look at the winning percentages with Pete Carroll and Harbaugh, Pete Carroll won that when he was in Seattle, when Harbaugh was in San Francisco. And, Pete Carroll's walking in to a situation that our defense is pretty much built. Like, if you can scheme it right, it's pretty much built. We have some holes on offense. Yes, we could use another corner, right? But our defense is pretty much solid. You resign some guys, bring some guys back. Our offense could use a couple tweaks, but the biggest thing when we said we're signing Pete Carroll to me was I was like, okay, we can compete with John Harbaugh now or Jim Harbaugh. Either of the Harbaugh.
Jim can't compete with John, so that's a problem.
But
bro, Jim is overrated, bro. This thing ain't that great, bro.
We watched Andy Reid's Chiefs get fucking punished during the Super Bowl win. There was me and Kier were talking about this today. After the first 2 calls that happened in the first 2 it was like the first 2 series. After the rest of those 2 controversial calls, somebody called down and was like, "Hey, dude, like you can't do this. The whole world's watching this. The whole world knows that you're giving the Chiefs, a 1-up right now." Once they started calling the game fair after that, dude, there was no bull. If Philadelphia would have been within a touchdown at the end of the game, the rest would have gave it to the Chiefs, 100%.
Oh my gosh!
No, for real though. but they blew him out so hard. They blew him out so hard that there was no way the refs could have saved that game. And that's why they let Patrick Mahomes get a fucking spike to the face. And dude, I love every minute of that.
I mean, no, you as a Raider fan, you can enjoy that. I agree. Like, I won't argue that part. Now, let me ask this question, and this is not I'm not trying to like sun nobody or nothing when I'm asking this, but how many people on this panel has played in like a championship game, like played in a championship game?
Not me.
Right? Have you played in multiple championship games? I'm glad y'all have multiple, right? So so before I ask this question, how many of those championship games did y'all win? Did you win out of how many?
2 out of 4 appearances.
Okay, perfect. What was yours, brother?
Actually, 1 out of 3.
Okay, perfect. Mine was about 1 out of I think 4, right? 1 out of 4. One thing you do know about when you play in championship games, especially after you actually do win one, is sometimes when you play in championship games, it don't matter how prepared you are or the stars was lined up and when you was on the way to the field, all the shit, right? You could just go in there and shit just don't go right.
Right.
Then there's games that the other team that just come in there, everything go right for their ass. I don't necessarily mean every single thing, but I'm talking about they just clicking. It ain't shit you could do about it. I don't care how great your coach is. I don't care none of that. What you trying to do is stop all that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the game on Sunday. The Chiefs. That was the game on Sunday.
And so that game on Sunday was just the Eagles having the number 1 defense. Anytime you see a quarterback, a great quarterback, lose a Super Bowl, it's usually because that D line went crazy. Ask Tom Brady. So with all that being said, what I'm saying is sometimes you just get jumped on and it ain't shit you can do about it. I don't care if the refs was there. I don't care if your mama was there. I don't care if Kendrick Lamar was there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just what it is.
I didn't say that's the reason they won. But I know for a fact that game started off dirty. And if it would have kept going that way, they kept taking momentum like they were taking it, it would have changed. I'm telling you that.
They was dropping passes and Mahomes was seeing ghosts early in the fucking game.
Yeah, you know what changed the game? Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat was unblockable. And then other people started leaking through the line because they had to move stuff over and pay attention to him.
Then they start stunting, and here come a nigga running right up the gap.
Hey,
our defensive line is equal. We could easily be that. Yeah. Like our defensive line is not bad.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So all it takes is you're right. I'm not saying that you're not right. All I'm saying is that those calls got turned way the fuck down real early because all the Chiefs games that we've watched, that I've watched anyways, have been very, very close. And there's been a lot of controversial calls. That game, it got blown out. It got blown out. There was no chance the refs could have saved that game. I get it. At the same time, that got shut down so fast. Maybe it was the defense. Maybe it was. It could have been. It probably was. The point is, as soon as that A.J. Brown shit happened on 4th down, there was no controversial calls after that through the entire game. There was no, Josh Allen didn't get it on the tush push on 4th down. There was no, the Raiders got a call back 30 seconds after the refs looked up the big screen and saw that that play maybe didn't cross the line. There was nothing like that because the whole world was watching. Taylor Swift got booed. Travis Kelce was damn near in tears. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not an Eagles fan, but my God, that was a fun game to watch. I was like, yes, dominate. dominate, dude. It was one of the best things I have ever seen. And it was so glorious for me to be able to experience watching, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but watching all those fake ass Chief fans just sit there and cry and wallow and all this stuff. And it's like, yes, dude. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. Welcome to the world of non-immortality, dude. Like, you have finally been brought back down to earth. It was amazing.
No,
I found out why Travis Kelce was dropping a whole lot of passes. You know what it was?
What?
I'm waiting.
It's because he forgot how to handle curves. The football, it has shape.
Yeah.
He can't catch that. He's
Oh.
not used to it.
Are you trying to say that, as Wester would say, that someone has a long ass back? Is that how that goes?
Hey, you can take it however you want to take it. I just know that he's not familiar. He's not familiar
with the curvature.
He's a flat earther. That love and feeling.
Has anyone actually taken a look at the previous romantic attachments
weekly
for one Travis Kelce before his most recent?
No, I haven't.
Tailoring. No. I would say that one of these things is not like the other.
yeah, Sesame. Can we go back to Sesame Street? Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? One of these things is not like the other.
Again, switch.
And hey, I was watching. Hey, Black, you got it hyped. All right. They showed a picture of him when he was with the one with shape, and then the one that ain't, and he looked like a whole different person.
That's the way to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, he looked super sad. He looked super sad during that game.
He looked like John B. Then he turned into Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
He came in wearing that 70s outfit like he was a boss there for a minute, though.
Who y'all talking about?
Kelce.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That look on his face, even, bro, I've had that look too many times. Like, when you losing championships, like nothing is going right. Like, you go out there and drop a couple passes and you never get on track. You frustrated. And then the thing about it is they could have put too much pressure on themselves about this three-peat. Also, they could have might have thought a little bit too highly of themselves. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they got hit in the mouth, and then they kept getting hit in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. That happens in championship games.
What am I Tyson saying?
You know what I'm saying? And I've seen it happen too many times, and I've actually had the pleasure to be able to do it to a team. You know what I'm saying? To overcome that. So I that's how I looked at it. You know what I'm saying? That was just one of them games where they got jumped on, and it was too late. I mean, you got
everybody
rocked.
has a plan until they get punched in the face. That's what Mike Tyson said.
Well,
but they kept getting. They got hit with like a 3-4 piece though. They got hit like a 4-piece, a 2-piece in the side.
Brock Bowers,
a 3-piece in the side.
Kelce, easily.
Eagles tried to tell him. Eagles was like, going about the business, bro.
For sure, Pizzo, by this for shizzle.
Hey, it is what it is, man. And like when you were talking about the championships, my first championship we lost. So I knew how it felt to get there and lose it. And then the second time we actually won it. So it was like, I guess you think about it, it's like, okay, maybe I just had to wait my turn. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You always see like in other leagues, you'll see like teams where
I can still hear you radio,
this is their first championship appearance, and then they lose it, and then the next year they come back and win it. You know what I'm saying? So obviously there was something about that, and then going back to back, it was one of those situations where we're like, you know, maybe some of the guys on my team was they just had, like you said, they just thought it was already in the bag, and you know we got punched in the mouth, but you know, because I continue to do what I needed to do, but it wasn't enough to win the game.
Yeah.
Not one of the sickest Super Bowls you've ever seen, though. Did you
Because
not
the winner
in Kansas City just get fucking pummeled? Because I personally, I was living like, as a Raider fan, shit, dude. Like, I'm not putting on Philly gear, but I was like as much a Philly fan as anybody during that moment, and that gave me the ultimate satisfaction watching that happen, watching the face of Patrick Mahomes, watching Travis Kelce's face sink, watching Taylor Swift get booed. It was the most perfect Sunday ever.
I guess.
When you hate the Chiefs, man, when you hate the Chiefs, I feel you.
Yeah. But the thing about it is, I feel that's cool. I mean, I'm cool with it, but now, like, shit, we got hella shit we need to be working on. So
for real, but sometimes it's just good to be petty.
It's just living the moment,
good to
bro.
be petty.
You know,
It's
like you have
Okay.
a bad breakup. Maybe she cheated on you or something.
Okay.
Right.
It's just good to see her
I mean,
get slapped.
you enjoy getting a new girlfriend, but what you would really enjoy
is seeing her get slapped in the face.
Seeing her get like
slapped in the
dumped and
face.
lose her job and get her ass whooped on the side of the road.
You said
you're
no,
like,
you
yes.
still get slapped in the face.
Buy another woman, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, and it would have been weird to see you know, Taylor Swift, you know, in the circle of all them people hosting the Lombardi Trophy. It would have been hard to see her. You know what I'm saying? It's like finding a needle in the haystack.
Didn't they win a championship last year and she didn't do it?
You cold, boy.
Y'all cold, man.
I like that.
She got to hoist it for Travis because
it would have been like, "Where's Waldo?" You would have been like, "Where's Swift?"
He put her on the shoulder,
dude. It looks like just turned the other way.
Y'all tripping. Taylor Swift would have hovered above everybody, and the trophy would have just came up, and she would have held it without holding it. What are y'all talking about?
Oh, dude.
Y'all tripping.
Jesus Christ, dude. It was so good.
They'd have been like, she'd have been like, ooh.
She like sang and like it would have floated.
Like a God candle on fucking, like a God candle. She just floated up there.
She can sing, I ain't gonna lie. She can sing. Oh, that Taylor Swift. That girl can sing.
Who holding the Lombardi Trophy? We can't see her.
Again, she's turned sideways, guys. Just turn
the
her. The
trophy's thicker than her.
Yo, Travis, turn her around. Turn her around, Trav. We still can't see her, boss. What do we do? It's a ghost.
Let's go, Hitty. Let's go, hit me, Butler.
Oh.
Let's go, hit me, Butler.
Probably didn't need to go there, but we did. So.
This guy. So, listen.
It's
pettiness, okay? Petty.
Hey, I'll let y'all be petty. It's cool.
We're having fun with a little pettiness, okay?
Okay,
we'll let it go.
I have to have something. I gotta have something.
Hey, you won't hear nothing else out of me about it. I got it now. I understand what we doing. I got the memo now. I'm like a lethal shooter. Now I understand.
Now I understand.
That
dude, have you seen the stuff he does?
Bro,
Chat.
I don't care what nobody say. If he do got a trick camera, I need to buy one because
yes. How you shoot a damn fucking M&M backwards into a bottle from like 20 feet, nigga.
Bro.
On the second try. He like, oh, now I understand. What? What did you understand?
Bro.
What is it? Tell me about it.
He understands the physics.
Okay.
Somebody said you can't throw M&M or something in an iPod case. The boy literally bounced it off the table and it went into the iPod case. Like, I'm like, you know what, bro?
He was outside. He threw it backwards over his shoulder into a soda bottle.
Yeah, why he ain't in the NBA? You just put him on the court. As soon as he stepped on the court,
shot a
just throw it.
basketball through a wind turbine. Shit was like 150 feet away.
First of all, that's when I thought he was being fake when I saw that. But then I'm like, I see him do everything else. Why not? Why not?
Somebody needs to be our next quarterback. So,
well, point guard, I guess.
Something.
But he been working with NBA players for a long time, so legitimize his talent there. I don't think they'd be working with him if he didn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, he do.
That boy.
Hey, y'all be easy. I respect everybody in here. I gotta go spend time with my wife, man. But hey, dude, fucking love y'all, man. Good talk, man. I bet, dude, I'm wrong about majority of the shit that I talk about, but it's just fun.
Oh,
listen,
no.
we'd like to have you around, and we'll continue to have.
I don't have the technical analysis you guys have. You guys are way smarter at that shit than me. I'm just out here just shooting shit off my head, bro. I'm a freestyle king.
Hey,
we like the fan perspective too.
The most intelligent ain't always the most smartest.
Yeah,
I want to take that as a compliment.
It is a compliment.
Hell yeah.
See how smart you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
yeah,
for real, I gotta hang out with my chick, man. I gotta bounce. I got a little while before I go to bed.
Yo, get your ass off before you get a whooping.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
She's in the bathroom right now, so I got a minute.
You talking about?
Go. Hey, the street lights came on. The street lights came on. You gotta get to it.
The Bay train.
Dude, it's legit. It's legit like fucking 0 degrees outside my house right now, dog.
I hate
0. Where the hell you at?
Hey, it's cold as fuck out there, bro. Like you go out there.
Eastern Washington.
I'm in Washington State. It's ridiculous out here.
He's a smidge from Idaho.
That's why you got the Black History Month tree still up.
No, well, that's not why, but it's part of the reason why. It's always Christmas out here.
As a matter of fact, let's talk about that, but just real quick before you go.
Oh man, we ain't taking down a tree here.
A-Train is such a Raider fan. This man is all about that Christmas. Okay, he doesn't take his tree down.
We're not taking down a tree here.
And so he and the amazing Bay Train have been so gracious that they said for the draft, in order to give us the right mojo, a fresh feeling,
bro,
the tree is coming down and then being re-put back up again for the first time.
You guys gonna help me decorate it, right? Y'all gonna help me decorate it when you're at my house. We're gonna decorate this shit together, right?
I will definitely help you with the little tiny Christmas
God
thing
damn it,
in the middle of April. Not a problem. I'll do it.
Yeah, I'll take you out for new beginnings. That's what Kier told me. He's like, "This is new beginnings. We're on new beginnings now. You have to take your tree down. We got to start over." So I'm gonna take my tree down, and we're gonna redecorate the tree for the draft. And let's hope that the next fucking 20 years of our lives aren't sad as hell like the last 20 have been. So
yeah, it's your tree, man. It's your tree's fault. So we're gonna go ahead and get that out of the way. And thank you for that sacrifice, and thank Bay Train for convincing you, because for some reason she had to convince you, and me as a rational.
I'm not about it, but it's all good.
But we're doing it. You committed to it on TV. Everyone saw it. You guys saw it? Write it down. Write it down. He said it.
We're gonna redecorate the tree, take the tree down for the draft. That shit won't be back there no more. And then after the draft, we're gonna create a new one, and hopefully that will live on forever. But the tree's gonna come down after shit has been up now in my house for fucking 5 years in this house. That tree's been up. I dusted off and shit. I dusted off, but the tree never comes down.
You keep them clean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, tree's gonna come down, so we're gonna break tradition this year.
That's right.
Maybe that's the key. We'll find out.
All right.
See, thank you for bringing that up, putting that on live so everybody in the whole fucking world knows it. That's what's up.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. I knew you'd like that.
Oh yeah, dude.
Get some good sleep, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Y'all take it easy. God damn, I'm gonna sleep with my Christmas lights on tonight. I'm gonna enjoy it while I can, but God damn it. Y'all be easy, man.
Easy.
All right, man. Adrian.
God damn, dude. Fuck my tree. I love my tree.
All right, guys. So,
All right,
you know, like, listen, A-Train.
Yeah, I'm
he
about
loves
to
his
bounce,
Christmas.
dude.
So this is a big sacrifice, right?
Here we go.
It's like when you're trying to do magic, you got to get like, you know, because of blood magic, you got to get like a lot of energy. You need like a virgin or a unicorn or some shit. So he's my virgin and unicorn Christmas sacrifice to the football gods. So football gods, they exist. If you have played football, you know that to be true. And this is
That's
my
why I don't understand why people be crying about the refs. The football guys make sure it all balances out.
but do they though?
They do.
They can't overcome, like, you know, sometimes it's just, it's too much.
Bro, nah, because so what? You could be getting all the calls all year long, and then all of a sudden it don't go that way. You know, it don't. It equals out. I went back and watched like championship games and national championship games where they miss a call and then another call will kind of offset it. Sure, it's not the same exact penalty and it might have different repercussions, but it's gonna balance out somehow. That's why I don't never think about the refs. Dang, I never think about the refs, even if they get the tripping. You know
So
what I'm
this
saying?
is the thing. When you, I think I posted it. I think I may even sent a copy to you guys after it was requested. But the article about the kind of statistical analysis of what's happened to the Raiders in particular, right? I think in a normal situation, what you're saying is absolutely true. I think when it comes to the Raiders, it is a whole different beast. So in a regular game, probably, I think there's been some special handling of the Chiefs and the Patriots, right? But when your team is absolutely murdered in discretionary penalties at pivotal times, and the teams you play become the least penalized team every week, and right, like that is not an accident,
bro.
Right, and that is not easily overcome.
It's not. But some of that is lack of discipline. Raiders is not fucking disciplined. I'm sorry.
See, I can show you in the statistical stuff that's actually just our perception from all of the
my
penalties.
perception. I look at
because when you look at the penalties,
I don't look at penalties like holding. You can call holding and shit whenever, like like why y'all call holding right there? Why you call illegal man downfield right there? Oh, you want to call the rub route right there? Fucking illegal offensive. I'm not talking about them penalties. I'm talking about the penalties that we do make, like the pass interferences,
sometimes
or better yet, the offsides at the wrong time, or the roughing the passers. Like that ain't the refs.
Every team does that though. We don't do it at any higher rate
we
than
do
other
that
teams.
shit, bro. We do that shit we do it at the wrong times. I'm not even talking about the frequency of it. We do it at the wrong times. Okay. So even if they do call more fouls on us, right? We know that about the league, about us, but we still have to overcome that because we know that going in, they're going to call more penalties on us. But then we can't. But we can't help the refs by personal foul, roughing the passer, pass interference. You can't help the refs.
So if you look at the like how it comes down, and I understand what you're saying, and I probably came from the same perspective until I read the actual analysis of what has happened statistically, right?
I seen
like it. So, for instance, if you look at the analysis, it says that the Raiders were targeted for penalties by refs more than any other team. The team we played was always the least penalized team in the league that week, pretty much. When we were penalized, they were big ticket, high penalty yards when you compare that to other NFL teams. When they are penalized, the penalties arrive at the most disfavoring critical moments of a typical game compared to all other NFL teams. The penalties excess levied upon Raiders is composed heavily of discretionary calls as compared to all the other NFL teams, and they do not originate from shortfalls in team discipline. The bias has cost the Raiders, on average, 3.7 games per NFL season, which is a 350% higher rate than even the disfavored teams in the NFL. The bias has been targeted at specific organizational members, players, coaches, the fan base, and it has been tolerated, willful, sanctioned, sustained. So I don't think it's an accident, and I don't think that it's like something.
Nobody's saying. I'm not saying it's an accident. I'm not saying it don't happen. What I am saying is the Raiders know that. We've been knowing that for hella years. We've been knowing that.
If you know someone has a gun,
we've been knowing that for hella. We've been knowing that for hella years, right? And we overcame that because when Gruden was a coach, our penalties went down, regardless of the fact that they still was calling bullshit stuff on us, right? Like our penalties went down, right? Yeah, our penalties right now ain't nowhere like how it used to be. Because we used to lead the league in penalties all the time. I think Dallas did it a couple years now. We used to have for sure the most penalties in the league. But now what I'm saying is in certain games when I look at the games, certain games in our franchise history, I can see where we fuck up. Not where the refs be like, well, we gonna call holding when they throw a touchdown. Nah, it don't be that. It don't be that. The Raiders be doing stupid shit like being offsides at the wrong time, giving a third down, automatic first down, personal fouls, unnecessary roughness. You can't do stuff like that to help the refs. Like, regardless if they cheating, even if they cheating.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have had penalties at bad times. What I'm saying is, like, every team does that. It just gets amplified because of the way we're being attacked.
Okay, it's amplified.
Yeah.
Right? Because other teams can make that mistake and come back from it. We make that mistake. It's a death knell because now we already have to beat the other team and the referees.
See, that's why you shouldn't look at it like that. Because so now you just fucked in the game now because the refs cheating on you and now you fucking up too. So instead of being like, let's stop fucking up, you're gonna be like, well, we got the refs and us against us, so fuck it. Like,
listen, humans, right? I understand the idea that you're supposed to be resilient, right? But we're not talking about one game or a week, right? We're talking about, over such a sustained period of time that, water torture breaks down resilience, right? It's a drip of water, right? That's all I'm saying. It's been the whole time, right? And so at some point you feel as if, things are just so unfair, right? And you've had so much taken away from you, it starts to be difficult to keep a positive outlook. And I've seen it with the fan base, right? So it's really detrimental. It needs to stop. So I'm going to call it out, right?
Yeah, you can call it out, but we don't suck because the fucking league is giving us extra penalties. That ain't why
3.7 wins a season.
That ain't why we suck.
3.7 wins a season.
Yeah, but that ain't all them ain't because of the league.
No, that's actually statistically due to the penalties. 3.7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you saying the league costing us 4 games?
Unfair penalties, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
They cost us 3.7 games.
How many games? And the league ain't costing nobody else games either.
Just
no,
us?
We're not the only ones. So we're by far the worst. And I'm going to put the graphic.
I get it.
So you guys can see.
So the league can call. So it's bro, you're gonna miss calls. You're gonna make bad calls, and it's gonna cost you a game or two, right?
Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Believe me, you're gonna want to wait. Just let me put this up before you jump to that.
I'm not jumping to no conclusion.
Idea.
I'm just saying this is what you're saying before we go looking into whatever you about to pop up. You're saying that the league is costing the Raiders approximately 4 games with the calls. Other teams, they get calls, but it might cost them 2 games, right? Or 1 game, or
so
0.8 games.
Seattle, we like that. Other teams are given games. So look at what I just put up here, okay?
I'm talking about all the teams, bro.
Yeah, I'm showing you all the teams. So you look at the screen, and it has all the teams over there that have. No, I'm trying to move this out of the way. So if you look at the top, right? The top, it's the Vegas, Oakland Raider situation, right? And you can see how much of an outlier. 92% higher than even the number 3 team. 92% higher than the number 3 team.
Okay, I get that.
So the difference is outlandish. And you if you're a team that's in this side, right, like Kansas City, Miami, Cincinnati, this is back. This goes from 2009 to 2022. So not a short amount of time.
So this means that the league is conspiring against the Raiders, right?
Yes.
So now, we've been knowing this. Like, that's what I'm saying. We've been knowing this. So what we gonna do? Just be like, all right, well, we don't get better about it. Well, we gonna just keep blaming on that. How about stop making dumb penalties at the wrong time? We can control that.
Even if we did, it wouldn't.
No, you can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say that.
Yeah, because it's like
no, you can't say that.
It's costing us
you can't say if it wouldn't matter if they wouldn't do shit at certain times, because it would matter.
I'm not saying it wouldn't matter, but it wouldn't be the difference between us being all of a sudden good because we're still losing 4 games to unfair penalty disadvantage. I mean, that's significant, right?
And also, Black, there's been plenty of times even this year where, you know, the refs call something and then Fox replays the play and there's nothing even there. So even if the Raiders played a perfect game, you know what I'm saying? Even if they played a perfect game, the refs can still call
y'all tripping.
Pass interference.
This is why I think y'all tripping, and respectfully, because y'all keep thinking things have to be like even if the Raiders play a perfect game, they're going to call something. Yes, because they're humans. They're humans making calls out there. There's hella shit happening at one time. So yeah, they're going to miss calls. They're going to, it might even be a phantom call. I don't, it happens. But all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is this. And no matter who the teams are, no matter what league it is, you're going to look at this chart and they're going to have one team that got hella penalties, and then there's going to be a team that get hella advantage from penalties. And then there's going to be some teams that's in the middle, right?
Over one season or
be
2
like
seasons,
that.
Not over that length of a time and
I'm
not
talking
by
about
that
over,
disparity.
I'm talking about over 40, 50 years, it's going to look just like this, right?
No, it doesn't. No way.
Sure, for the Raiders, you might say, okay, well, this is an extreme case because of the Raiders. And yes, we know that. I don't understand, like, so what we supposed to do? What's the solution then?
The solution is to stop making excuses for the league and demand that they stop treating our franchise.
But they're not. But they're not. So that's
because we keep allowing it, honestly.
It ain't shit we could do about it, but other than stop hitting the quarterback late.
Okay, or you could call it out, and then at that point,
and do what? And
then demand better, and if not, then boycott. Then
get the fuck out. So they go boycott.
Then go to Congress, because the Congress should actually step in. This is racketeering. This is like illegal.
What you think? What do you think that Al Davis was doing the whole time? And this is the reason why the Raiders got the most penalties in the league, because Al Davis kept trying to call out injustices and kept losing, and then they started fucking with the Raiders.
Al Davis wouldn't stay in segregated hotels in the 60s.
Man,
he got the most penalties in the league because he recruited from historically black colleges, because he hired an ethnic head coach, because he drafted the first black quarterback.
It ain't got nothing to do with him. It ain't got nothing to do with him suing the NFL.
It started before he sued the NFL.
I understand all that, but once you sue the NFL, you are in purgatory, my nigga.
Bro, he was already in purgatory because he broke their trust.
So why are we crying then? So you think all of a sudden we out of purgatory now? We're gonna be able to sue the league and go to Congress and have them stop doing it now? Do you think that's where we are?
I think we never try to use Congress as a remedy, because
I'm just saying. Do you think that would work?
Yeah, I think Congress is a remedy. Absolutely.
Okay.
Because it's they have a exemption against being a monopoly, which can easily be taken away by by Congress.
They ain't gonna do shit.
And that means if you don't act fairly. So
don't forget who's in
Congress
Congress.
Ain't gonna do shit about no Raider penalties.
Well, it just
They not
depends
about to
on
be
how
like.
that money goes.
They're not about to be like NFL. Won't y'all stop calling shit on the Raiders?
No, they stepped in for fairness in sports leagues numerous times, and they will do that. So it just has to be, because what you're talking about here is not. There are people, livelihood that are affected here, right? Like coaches have been fired, their careers have been ruined, right?
Right.
If we win 4 more games under Hugh Jackson, he's 12-4 instead of 8-8. Like these things matter, right? And so the guy, he's out of the league. People don't get.
The Raiders used to have over 10 penalties. The Raiders used to have over 10 penalties a game. You gonna sit here and make me believe that the league just made up like 7 of them?
I'm just going to give you the stats here and how outlier they are. No. What they matter is what matters is this. What matters here is this. There is no logical reason when you look at analytics, how things happen, that we have the outlier and all of these specific categories: penalties at key times, the amount of yardage per penalty, and discretionary penalties. That tells a story that is very clear.
No, stats don't tell a story all the time.
Yes.
Stats lie all the time. But matter of fact, you can make a stat, bro.
You're looking at this chart and you're telling me,
bro. I'm asking a simple question. The Raiders usually have over 10 penalties a game. Is that a true statement? Yes or no? I'm not talking about right now, because remember I said they got better at that. But usually, a lot of times the Raiders had over 10 penalties. Is that a true statement?
Yeah, there was a lot of. They have 150, 60.
So out of those 10 penalties, how many do you think the Raiders actually commit?
I don't know, maybe half.
So you think the league
the other half are really key bad penalties at really horrible times for us.
All right.
We're talking about 4 games worth of unfair penalties per season.
Even if that was the case.
And what?
Even if that was the case, then stop fucking fouling. Stop 5 penalties. If you can really legitimately be a team with 5 penalties in the league giving you 5, then you can change that 5 to like 3. And out of those 5 that the Raiders really be having, 4 of those 5 be at the dumbest ass times, or at least 3 out of the 5 be at the most dumbest times. They might not do shit all game, really for real, but then the pass interference come. And then personal foul, unnecessary roughness at the wrong time at the end of the game. You can control that.
How many of those are actually real penalties? And how many are like when you go back look at the tape, it's not, or they don't show you the tape.
All right. So now we got to go look at the games now, because
that's what he did.
I know that the Raiders aren't the reason why we lose games ain't because of the damn refs, bro.
This guy,
the refs don't help, but that ain't why we lose games, man. That ain't why we lose games.
3.7 per year.
All right. Okay. That's what the numbers say.
Yeah. And
well,
I
should go root for a team that don't get penalized.
Well, if you wanted to, I could put it up there. You can go root for the Colts, or
they don't.
You can
like that. So what? Even if they put 10 penalties on the Raiders, you still got to play through it. What you don't play.
I'm just saying that it puts an undue burden on your team, and it makes for you less likely to want to be here. When you got players, DJ Hayden before he passed away, rest in peace and power, DJ.
I didn't know that.
He talked about how he was absolutely officiated differently when he was playing for the Raiders as opposed to
DJ
the
Hayden
Jaguars.
was ass. I'm sorry. Rest in peace. I don't care if they did. I don't care if they did officiate him wrong. He was ass. He was getting torched. I'm sorry. I liked him too and everything. I'm sorry.
The officiating was absolutely different, though.
I'm sure it is. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that at all. At all. I'm not disputing it at all. But I've seen Raiders overcome that by being a very disciplined team. Like when John Gruden was there and the Raiders was an older team, they didn't have a lot of stupid penalties. Mm-hmm. They didn't. They called weird ass penalties on Romanowski. You know what I'm saying? Like they was always doing that. But Romanowski also was savvy enough not to do it at the wrong time, though.
You know what I'm saying? At the wrong time.
Yeah, at the wrong time, right.
He'll do it at the wrong time, but not the wrong.
Yeah, he'll do it at the wrong time, but he won't do it at the wrong time, right? Exactly. And that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is if you could coach that part up, then I'm cool with it, because if they're going to say we out there holding and giving us 3 extra holding calls, well, go hold a nigga and throw that nigga on the ground and everybody dogpiling.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like
I don't care if we got 13 penalties now. Just legitimately, let's make like 5, but don't make 3 of them at the wrong time.
No, we need.
I mean, at the wrong time. Actually, that's the way I should have worded it. That's the way I should word it. You're right. The wrong time.
Yeah, because it ain't really the right time to make.
Yeah, it's not. You're right. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah, wrong time.
But there be that time where you be like, you really can't fuck it up right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We could if we could eliminate that. I don't care how many penalties the league call on us, because for some reason we overcome that shit. That's what makes our games exciting. That's what gives us the cardiac arrest, because we'll be doing something good, then that motherfucker call some weird shit, and then the next play we'll turn it over. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck was that? So I get it, but now that's what I'm saying. If we lock in discipline-wise, then we can overcome that shit. We can. I think so.
I think, obviously when we have been successful, we've done it. It's possible to overcome, right?
It's hella hard.
I think, it's hard, but it's possible. And I think that's the way that the Raiders are structured. We have the advantage of we pull talent from everywhere, right? We're not limited to where we're going to see what we see, right? There's no, we ain't going to play a black quarterback here. There's no, we don't play a white running back here. There's no, we don't play a white DB here. And I'm talking about players that are hollowed in this organization that play those positions, and
But I also know John Madden used to go out there and tell him to do all that shit too, though, because he leaned into it. He was like, "All right, we got a bunch of ruffians on our team. All right, cool. Let's just go in and wild out." Like for a while, we just embraced it. We didn't even care
because we were so good.
Let me know when I'm wrong, y'all. I'm not hating on my team, but let me know when I'm wrong.
Hey, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that you're
slightly off.
So accustomed to like the idea that it happens and we just got to overcome it. I think you're forgetting or almost like immune to, or to how bad it actually is, and that we shouldn't have to go through that, right?
We shouldn't.
It shouldn't be that hard, right? But they got to burn down Black Wall Street. That's all I'm saying.
I think you was on point with the brief moment of what you said. We were that good. You know what I'm saying? That we could, blast somebody with our elbow and take that penalty, but next play we throwing a deep bomb pass because we got you know what I'm saying, because we got it like that. So we can take the penalty because that one clean play we gonna do, it's actually gonna work. You know what I'm saying? So in our situation now, we can't afford that, and like it sucks that the penalty is put. Obviously, we know that penalties put any team in a disadvantage. But in our situation, where we don't have the talent like that, and we don't have the, it makes it even worse. Like, just imagine we're getting those penalties that we are getting called, right? And then we just throw one interception. Most teams can bounce back by having that one interception.
Yeah.
What team can't?
Hey, so let me ask you this: do you think we should build for that, knowing that what we know? Should we weave that into our fabric that, hey, we need to just be that good? Why not weave that into?
We should have been doing that. You know what I'm saying? That should have been, the philosophy of even Al Davis talked about it. About first you get the coaches, then you get the players, right? And then just win, baby, right?
You have great players.
He set the formula down, but who was actually following that out?
That's why I thought the just win, baby, the essence and the crux of it was, man, we don't care what y'all do to us. I don't care how many penalties y'all give us. I don't care how many times we turn it over. I don't care what y'all say if we cheating. I don't care
what we did before free agency and parity.
Just as long as we win the game. All right, so now free agency. Now we need to get smarter. So I don't care what they doing, just win. That's all we got to do is just win. So that means we got to be that good. So I'm thinking we need to, like you said, we should have been on that. But I guess what we were trying to do was eliminate the penalties. But we can't eliminate the penalties because they're going to always throw them on us.
Right.
But I'm just saying, we need to eliminate the penalties at the wrong time.
The wrong time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree with you too, Black, because you were talking about that earlier. Our mentality should have been like, every time we hit that field, we need to put 100 points on them. Knowing that the refs are at least going to take a good 40 of those, 60 of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, just being honest. Like, the mentality is every game, I'm trying to run it to 100. That's what I used to do with my basketball team. I coached basketball, and I had players that would complain about the refs' calls. And I said, and I used to always point to the scoreboard. I said, what can you control? What's on that scoreboard? Now, is it at 100? No. Then do what you need to do. And that was my, you know what I'm saying? Because if you see a game, like a rec league game for 100 points, that's crazy. But I wanted him to have that mentality that I'm not worried about if this ref calls a bad call or if he doesn't. Actually, that's my job. My job is to yell at the ref if I need, you know what I'm saying? If I feel like I need to. You as a player need to make sure you put 100 on the board.
Yeah, hey, but what EC said, like, who pulls out a index card for a first down?
And then shows that it's not a first down just to call the first down.
Hey, so that's why I'm saying, once you see shit like that, you gotta throw it all out your mind, because you're gonna be like, how the hell they even came up with that shit? Who idea was that to be like, man, I could get an index card in between there. That ain't no first down. Like, who idea was that? So all I'm saying is, if you're gonna be a player on the field, you can't be playing with that at the back of your mind or the side of your mind or the front of your mind that they about to do this weird shit. You just got to just go through it and try to be cleaner than everybody else, or just don't do it at the wrong time. Right. You know what I mean? Make it hella obvious, where then that way, if you got like some critical games that we lose because of that and we go to Congress, then I would feel confident about that, because especially if those phantom plays and it happened in an AFC championship game or AFC title game or whatever, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but you got to get to the playoff first before we can show what's really going on. They don't care what's happening to you when you in the mud. They only care about it when you in the limelight.
And who showed us that the refs didn't have to have any influence in the game and still win it? The Eagles. What was everybody saying about the Eagles in the beginning of the season? Their team is stacked. They got a whole lot of depth over there. So the talent was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, I believe to be honest with you, I think they called it a fair game. You know, there was those two, you know, the Chiefs got one crazy call, the Eagles got one crazy call, and then everything else seemed like it was football to me. And that's not being biased. I really felt like the refs called, and with that being 1-1, I still felt that. I felt that was a great called game. I would have gave the refs MVP for the Super Bowl for calling the game fair.
Would have been in a piece,
man. Fair. How about just calling it accurate? Like,
but
when you say,
but like what you said, Black, there it's human error. You know what I'm saying? They're going to make their mistakes, but if it seems like it's somewhat like this, you can't be mad at it. Now, if it's like this, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like they're giving more love to this team than the other. Then
but sometimes that team is just really committing more penalties than the other. Like, it does happen.
Yeah.
But, like the Raiders are not that disciplined.
You can see that.
Arnie, did you? I don't know if you was here earlier, but like we have a statistical analysis. I'll put it out on social media so y'all can grab the link and stuff.
Oh, I wouldn't think that's a conspiracy theory. I'm pretty sure that's a fact. That's what's happening to the Raiders. I think it's empirical. I'm not delusioned about that. I'm not at all. I'm just saying, when that happens, the only thing you can control is what it is that you do. That means we gotta have no penalties for real. So that way they can't give us 10 and we really ain't doing 10. Because if they do that, then we got an argument for sure. Like, that's why I was like, how many you think? Okay, so for every 5 we got, they give us 5. I could probably see that, maybe 4, but I could see that, whatever. But if it's we only doing 2 or 3, and they giving us 7, oh yeah, it's gonna be a problem after a while, especially if the 3 that we're really doing is like a holding or a neutral zone infraction or some weird shit like that. Not no pass interference, not no 15-yarder on 3rd down, none of that weird shit. Yeah, then they're gonna have a problem after we've been done that like 5 years. But we gotta be in the playoffs and have it happen in like 3 of the years of the playoffs. So, you know, until we get there, we can't prove nothing. But it's there.
I'm trying to get a grasp. Raider Ben was in this piece. I'm trying to get a grasp on his opinion on this this little discussion we got into. And if you want to pull up, Ben, let me know. I'll give you the link. But man, I feel like it's a thing. I think it's something that we don't need to sit here and dwell on every week or anything like that. But it's something that happens, and we need to be aware of it. We need to like not just be okay with it. It's gotten to this point now where we like a lot of Raider fans, I think, have some self-internalized hatred where they think that this doesn't exist, or possibly we're making too big of a deal out of it or something, or that I've heard that kind of stuff from people. So we need to not just accept it, right? Talk shit about it, call it out, you know. But,
no, just don't stop fucking.
But then, we need to control what we can control, right? Because you don't control the people, you control yourself. Tell my kids that, tell myself that. That's right.
Yeah, you can only control what you can control. The only thing you can control is don't do penalties at this wrong time.
Get the lights up, guys.
You can control that.
If you're still here, or if you're lingering, if you're on Facebook or all different places you might be. Thank you for being here, y'all. Y'all the best chat in all of YouTube sport. It's just there's everywhere. Amazing. My chat is better than me at this shit. So you know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. And they do shit like this. They be like, Raiders. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Because that's what it's about. So, you know, do I think that part of the shit that the propensity that we have for these weird ass penalty moments happens because people start pressing and gripping and acting strange because they know they're behind the 8 ball. and they let it get in their head. Yeah. And so you got to be careful with that. Like we have to be looking for players who have this kind of intrinsic internal motivation and can block that shit out. Because if you let it get to you,
like
right,
Charles
you let
Woodson.
it get to you, then it will be your master, right? So, the players have to act like it's not happening or play through it, but we don't have to accept it as fans. And the organization needs to talk shit. We need to start sending tapes more. We need to make press about it.
I could go with
you know
that.
What I mean, so
I could go with that.
And the players should be taught to fucking ignore it because there's not a goddamn thing you're gonna do about it to keep playing.
Yeah, I could definitely go with that.
But I just don't want us to sit here as fans and not recognize it because that shit is happening.
Well, yeah, you gotta go get some high care. You gotta get some players that don't have a propensity of, doing that, like for real. Because really, what ends up happening is Raiders have to play defense different when that happens, right? Mm-hmm. Because now you can't press coverage because if you press, the refs gonna freaking call pass interference, especially on your rookie corner or your second year corner, Jacorian Bennett, right? You know what I'm saying? But they should call it on younger corners. So then you don't really factor that in because when you're looking at the game, you're looking at it as like, how is that pass interference? They both playing with each other's hands. When you young in the league, you haven't earned that right yet. So people haven't even factored that part in. So you got to play defense different. That's why the Raiders usually give up a lot of big plays in crucial times because they got to play off all the time. Or if they get tangled up, we all be holding our breath because we looking for the flag all the time.
If it's a flag, I'm automatically like, okay, that's us.
Yes, all the time. Yeah, so players like Charles Woodson, and I don't even necessarily want to pick the cream of the crop of players. They're like Eric Allen. They didn't get caught up in those things because they understood what is that called?
Situational awareness.
Yeah, well, they just know the situation in the game. They know you damn near feel it. You already know. All right, this is a critical third down. I'm not gonna be as aggressive, but I am gonna make a play. You know what I'm saying? Versus I'm gonna try to make a play. You know what I'm saying? And you just gotta know the difference and when to turn it on and when to turn it off. And I guess you get that with experience, but we need to get that earlier in our young players.
And part of that is coming from the head coach, right, who should be kind of guiding the team through those kind of moments. That's what head coaching is more about than X's and O's, right? Is saying like in this moment we need to be this. This is the most important thing we need to do. Right? No mistakes for the next 5 minutes, guys. Whatever, right? Because that is going to be the key to the game. Or we need to be aggressive here, right? We need to punch him in the fucking mouth right now, right? Like Mo is wearing the wrong jersey. We need to take that shit back, right? So these are moments that have something to do with like the overall attitude of the team and not necessarily what plays you're calling, right? And that attitude needs to be embodied in the play calling by the coaches underneath that head coach, right? And great head coaches know how to do that. Pete Carroll is that kind of head coach.
Right. So, and no shot and not no shout out at AP. AP would have to learn that. Because he might know it as a player, but to implement that into other players, that takes coaching. You know what I'm saying? It takes coaching. Like, you can't just be screaming it and everybody just get it. You got to already infuse that in their mind so when they hear you say it, they already lock in. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference between having a Pete Carroll or an experienced coach or what makes a coach from good to great or from good to good or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? Good, great. You know what I'm saying? So
good, great. Yeah.
On the French.
And let me ask you guys this: do you think they're investing a whole lot more in Pete Carroll than they did with Antonio Pierce?
No. No.
What do you mean by
Great
investing
question.
in?
Like, did Antonio Pierce get all of these resources that
Yup.
Pete Carroll is now?
He had more time actually to choose his
And he
staff than
picked
Pete
up a
Carroll.
bunch of old ass people just like
He doesn't have the coaches that would coach under him that Pete Carroll would, because he doesn't have the
Cachet.
experience in the league and cachet, and hasn't won a Super Bowl and been to another one and won a national championship. So Carroll has a wealth of people he can call on that would love to play for him. I watched Antonio Pierce in 1 year make, I think, maybe 3 people that under him never want to play for him under him again, right? I don't think he can call on anybody in Getsy's tree, right? That's done.
Let's go, Draymond.
So my point is, like, Pete Carroll leaves under good terms, and people want to play for him and be under him again. So yeah, he has a lot easier time finding a talented staff. But Mark was willing to spend all the money last year too on the staff. Okay, like, but who was going to come? They brought Chip Kelly in last year. How come he didn't? He was like, I'll go to Ohio State as a coordinator instead. Kingsbury went to another team in the NFL. Nobody wanted the job. So, you know, Arnie always dropping the great cat said Spytech will be aggressive in free agency in the draft. Moto is to compete.
That's why I keep saying.
That's right.
Compete. That's why I keep telling everybody, like, we're going to be aggressive in the draft. Like, I'm 90% sure we're going to move up in the draft, or at least try for sure.
If we have to.
If we have to, right.
It might be a small jump. Maybe we have to move to 4.
Yeah, but whatever it is, we're going to move. We're not just going to sit there and not let go after one of these quarterbacks. That's not going on.
Unless they fall in love with Will Howard. This could happen, folks. Because I barely started watching tape. And
there you go, man.
I don't know, man. We'll see. But
we'll pick him up in the second or third round or whatever, and we'll see what it do.
I think by the time draft time gets around and we had a combine and all that good stuff and watch him throw, you probably want to just go ahead and pick him in the bottom of the first. We trade up out of the second to the bottom of the first. So you get that 5th-year option on a quarterback anyway.
I'm just saying, I'd rather
be nice to get a 5th-year option on Carr.
I'd rather not even get no quarterback and fill a bunch of spots.
Carr would have got hurt in the last year of his contract instead of the first year of a new contract, and that might have been a whole different ball.
That ain't got nothing to do with how that train wreck ended. Because even if we would have played it right, McDaniels would have came in there like, I don't want Derek Carr as my cornerback. Would have did.
I'm saying Derek Carr would not have been on the team by the time Daniels got there.
That's even worse.
When he got injured in 2016, that would have been the last year of his contract rather than the first year of a new contract.
That would have been even worse.
For who?
For the Raiders. Well, not really, because we're in the same position anyway, because we ain't got we could have started over a long time ago.
I mean, whatever. I'm just saying we could have. Yeah, we didn't get anything for him anyway, right? So we would have got nothing for him but years earlier,
and we still would have been doing what we're doing right now. We wouldn't have been in no better position.
I doubt it. I think we would have had a head start on it.
We would have been in a better position.
7-year head start.
But I don't know. That's me speculating. So I don't know. So
let's get that 5th-year option on a quarterback.
Yeah, you can do that with any quarterback you draft, but Will Howard ain't. How does I don't know.
What is it?
Will Howard, I don't know enough of him, but what I do know, just based on regular, even quarterbacks, if you not really like touted as a top pick as a quarterback, you're not just about to drop from a 3rd round prospect to a 2nd round prospect to a 1st round draft pick. Like, Like everybody missing this? No, that ain't how that works.
No, listen, it's not that he's not highly touted. A lot of scouts like him. Also, Joe Burrow.
All right.
Joe Burrow was not a first-round pick, and then he was the first pick in the draft after a national championship performance at LSU.
All right.
Sometimes it just clicks. Will Howard is imposing.
Joe Burrow.
He doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
Joe Burrow.
He won a national title.
Look at Joe Burrow and tell that he was a top quarterback, bro.
What is it about Will Howard and his mobility, arm strength, size, and poise makes you think he's not a top
because he ain't start off there already. I don't even gotta watch him to know that. Like if he got all this upside, why he gotta come out the depths of the fiery phoenix in order for people to really get it?
Depth. He's the starting quarterback at Ohio State.
Why is he better than Shador or Cam then?
Because they're really good, and who says he won't be one day?
I'll just say this about Will Howard. I think Will Howard is intriguing for us just because of him knowing the language. That's as far as I'm gonna put on Will Howard as he's the bomb diggity at quarterback. I do like some things out of him, but what attracts me to him is that he knows the language.
23, right? So not overly old. 6'4", 240, right? He's not a small guy, right? So this is like in a class where there's a lot of about physical traits. He has all the physical traits. He's mobile. He's tough.
So why isn't he a top?
I seen him truck a linebacker. Like, it takes. We're early still in the whole quarterback evaluation process. Guys like me and the scouts and stuff, people who like break down quarterback film too. They just came from the Senior Bowl. They're firing up their tape. Give it some time. Get through the combine. And then you'll see, I think, a difference. People told me that Nix was going in the second or third round last year. He didn't make it 12. So, yeah, because paying attention. There's a lot of people telling me second, third round for Bo Nix.
Oh, they crazy.
Man, Bo Nix ain't even that good. He cool.
Where'd he go, though? Where'd he go in the draft?
Yeah, I get it.
He ain't that good because he's a rookie. He's very good for a rookie.
I'm sorry, y'all.
Golden State. They'll do that to you. So, yeah. I think that Will Howard is the quarterback that everyone is trying to make Jackson Dart be in this draft.
Oh, yeah. See, I just watched something on him. You know what? But so I'm gonna do though? This is what I'm gonna do. Starting next year, I'm gonna start watching college football. For a couple of reasons.
I've done it.
For a couple of reasons. Because I feel like though I probably really don't need to watch it. I need to watch it more than I watch it, but I'm like, I don't need to watch it to evaluate quarterback to see how, like, to tell a good quarterback. Like I this draft is just different. It's not the quarterbacks is not there. There's quarterbacks in the draft, and I'm sure if we was to sit here and parse through what we got, we could shine something and buff this and make it a franchise somewhere. But I promise you, like 5 years from now, 7 years from now, this draft class is going to be the ass class of the quarterbacks. I'm telling you. But
I think
but
what
the
you'll see is there'll be
point,
3 very good quarterbacks from this draft.
What's that?
I think there'll be 3 to 4. There's always one somewhere later. Good quarterbacks from this draft. Is it Is it historically deep like 83 or last year where you get 6 quarterbacks in the first round? No.
I'm not even.
Is it bad? No. I think this is an above average
No, it's
quarterback.
not above average.
It's not bad. They've got 3 good quarterbacks. Like, will probably be Pro Bowlers. I think all 3 of them. And then you got chances for players like, Jackson Dart to develop, or Dylan Gabriel, or Kyle McGrath, right? Or
I wouldn't say this is above average.
Kyle McCord. I'm sorry, Kyle McCord.
Hell no.
So, like, are those guys ready to play immediately and be great? No, but could they develop and be great because they got some time? Yeah. Because that's how we used to do. We used to put quarterbacks and give them a year or 2, and then have them play. Right.
I think that's also why some of these quarterbacks' value actually has gone down, because of so much of the we want it and we want it now type of society we're in. I think you're right. There it might be a surprise later on, later on down the years, that some of these quarterbacks that we thought weren't that good actually turned out to be not so bad.
Cool.
Quinn Ewers, people were talking about him,
I'm sorry.
And to have him be, one of those guys, but to have him sit and have some time and work that out, he might actually, under the right system too, that might actually benefit him.
Quinn Ewers is he's a very inaccurate quarterback who has problems with pressure. He is not in my top 10. He's in the bottom of the top 15 that I'm putting together. His tape is surprisingly not good. And, the statistics are there. I watched 4 games where he played against real competition this season, and he is not it. I don't want to hear nothing about no Quinn Ewers again. Don't tell me about that man. Don't bring him nowhere near my franchise. Okay. I would rather have an old boy from Alabama, Milroe, 6 times a week, and then 3 more times on Sunday than that. Okay. That's how I feel about Quinn Ewers. No, that's a no for me. So, I think that's a player that's been overhyped big time. And, that the Manning kid is going to make that team look a lot better, I believe. Quinn is just, he's not that dude, man. The footwork, the happy, panicky stuff under pressure, turnovers, fumbles, really not very accurate. Not putting the ball in a place where the receivers can make plays and continue to matriculate the ball down the field. A lot of that stuff I do not like. So he is definitely in my bottom 5, and I continue to search for that. The other 2 spots, I won't name the other 2 players that are going to be with him, and then we're going to do bottom 5 video out of the top 15, and then we're going to go top 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're working on it, folks. But yeah, no Quinn Ewers. But there are some quarterbacks I think that are underrated too, right, in this year's draft. And so I think that's what's really interesting, right, as we get closer, to decision-making time, what does this stuff how quickly does it get straightened out? Because at this point, I think there is enough undervaluing and overvaluing that we feel still far away. And of course, the combine, the measurements, the pro days, the private visits will need to all shake themselves out. And Quinn Ewers will go from being thought of as a top 5 guy to dropping, I think. And somebody like Dylan Gabriel and Will Howard, I think, are going to go up the board. Curtis O'Rourke or something like that, maybe. If you're looking for an athletic quarterback, right, Jalen Milroe is not your only option. Riley Leonard is really athletic, guys, and probably more developed as a passer. If you wanted a guy who can scramble and want to bet on somebody, I'd rather bet on Riley Leonard. He's 6'4", 4'5", 40. Okay, he's going to be 220 some odd pounds. He'll fill out some. Like, there's some stuff out. You know what I mean? I just don't feel this whole Milroe shit, dude. Like, I'd like someone that can throw the football to receivers. That's all.
Who's the quarterback that I need to go look up?
Go look at Will Howard.
Will Howard. Let me go look at him. Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Yeah, all right.
And then we can look at
who's the last? Who's the last? Like, who's a good Ohio State quarterback? Like, who's a quarterback tree from there?
C.J. Stroud.
All right, who else?
The last good late one. Before that, Zero. Yeah, no, I don't think they had any of those. Yeah. I'm more partial to Michigan due to family stuff. But
I feel it.
I think Ohio State had a lot of kind of floppy, flippy, not so great at quarterback, but maybe someone can remind me of the great Ohio State quarterbacks that succeeded in the NFL. But at this point, I mean, there's some other. I want to get to some more intriguing prospects too. If we're talking about developmental guys, if we somehow do decide that we're going to go get Sam Bradford, Darnold. Ooh, sorry about that. Sam Darnold, Freudian slip.
Wrong Sam.
Freudian slip. So if we get Sam Darnold and just want to develop then Milroe or Riley Leonard might be gone. Maybe we look at like a Donovan Smith from Houston, right? Or maybe the most physically gifted quarterback in this draft, DJ Ugalele, I believe it is. Ugalele, Florida State. He may have the strongest arm in football, period. Like pro, college, whatever. Hasn't really been able to settle and develop because the transfers and then an injury at the wrong time. You never know what happens if he gets an NFL camp, right? Gets his footwork down, is consistent, because he's 6'4", 250, extremely physically gifted, strong guy, and he threw the ball 75 yards in the air. Easily. So, that's a guy. So that, if you're looking at like developmental, KJ Jefferson as a developmental quarterback, 6'3", 247, University of Central Florida down there. I think there was some real hope for him early on, but he's a very talented guy. So there'll be a lot. These are people coming out, right? There's a lot of hope for Will Rogers over there at Washington, but I don't know if he ever really turned the corner. So there'll be some other quarterbacks that we'll get to talk about that are not the guys, screaming at the top. They're not necessarily year one guys, but you never know what happens once they get a chance to develop behind NFL coaching when they have kind of struggled previously. Somebody said Terrell Pryor. Oh, Fredo, come on, bro. Yes, that's brutal. Yeah, the Ohio State running back, quarterback thing has not been the greatest turnout, until recently. It feels like ever since Urban Meyer was there for a little bit, it's like the hex might have been broken or something. So I think let's see what happens moving forward. And see if there's a new precedent or something, right? J Dog said Howard. He said Genty or Milroy or Howard. I'm down with the Howard. I don't feel Milroy Roy since he can throw. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I think that's where we gotta focus as we get through the next couple weeks or whatever. We'll start to move towards, free agency, right? That's gonna be the first focus, and so we'll come back next week and we'll talk about available free agents by position, scheme fit, all that stuff. I may end up rating the free agents through an analytical system if I have time to put it together, like I did for the quarterbacks. Hopefully I can get that done this year and have it be a staple so that we can put numbers behind our thoughts. I like numbers because they're pretty. So, yeah. That's what we'll be planning for next week. And then, besides kind of getting ourselves together and figuring out what's going to happen with free agency, I feel like we did a good job of kind of catching up on where we're at, and the Raiders have done a good job of getting themselves set, and so we're poised to make that next step, guys. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so too. I was actually what I was doing was I was trying to find this. I gotta dive deeper because I couldn't find it. There's a D lineman that I like coming out of the draft. And I was trying to remember his name because his name is something that you got to work on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's one of those names.
DJ
No, it's D line.
Gotcha. No, I was saying the name that you got to work on. I got to work on that one.
Yeah, it's something Ola something. One of them old something.
There's so many vowels. Yeah. I don't know what to do with them sometimes.
Yeah, bruh. So, but definitely, I'll next whenever I come back on,
just give us a week to learn how to pronounce it, and then we'll be able to.
Yeah, we can all have a spelling class. No, and I'm glad that they're doing that. It seems like now more African players are making their way into the NFL. Nigerian or whatever you want to call them. They're making their way in the NFL. But for us that don't understand some of them last names,
U-A-E and then A again. You're like, what is that?
Yeah. So, but yeah. I mean, there's other Nigerian guys that we even had on our team that people don't even know. Carl Joseph is a Nigerian guy. So, and obviously his name was easy to say, right? But there is some of those that have more cultural last names, and he's one of the guy that I was trying to pull up. I've been looking at him for a minute, but definitely would love for him to join that D line.
There's a lot of football's coming from everywhere, expanding into Germany and Europe and stuff, and so that's going to be interesting. What comes being recruited from there, because that has the potential to really add some extremely interesting players, right? That's a country or a continent, right, full of soccer, right? Speed, agility, endurance, right? Kind of, a lot of things that can apply well to football, right? On grass,
absolutely,
all kind of stuff. So there can be the potential to have some really dynamic skill position players, I think, coming from there. And then bangers and mash ain't no joke, buddy. You can put on some weight and play the O line. So it's gonna be interesting what happens as we get from there. And then Africa's opening up, for recruiting, which is crazy. You know, you got some crazy stuff happening. So it's an exciting time to be in sports if we just not blow each other up. How about that? Right? So speaking of not blowing each other up, I'm getting blown up. I gotta get up here, y'all. Yeah, it's that time. So any final thoughts from Sam I Am, the man with the plan?
Yeah, another week in paradise. At least we have a paradise right now. I just wait to see what who we gonna bring along. So far so good. I like our staff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Chip Kelly is on my radar, but whatever. He better do something.
Chip Kelly's on the warm seat for him already.
No, he ain't even on the warm seat. It's just when we walk.
He just took his beer though.
When we walking down the hall, I'm looking at you as you walk by, like, yeah, nigga. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing to him while he way over here across the room. Hey, Chip. Nigga.
Fully side eye. He said,
"Yeah.
3:00.
Yeah, right." Then they be like, "Why does Black always be messing you?" Like, just don't fuck up and you won't find out.
Chip is on the fuck around and find out seat already.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, he's definitely on that because once that, yeah.
He's
Yeah,
I tried to tell y'all, but y'all was tripping. Yeah, I'm the one that was tripping, so okay.
What do you think? Twan, what's your feelings about the end of that?
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on Black. So what's the question?
On like where we're at, we're transitioning here. Free agency is starting to be the new thing that's going to come up. Do you feel like we're prepared? How do you feel about the team right now, and kind of like where we're at and stuff? Yeah. Any final thoughts? Also,
I think I just think we're in a good spot right at the moment. It seems like they're trying to build and stack, in coaching and all of that. Now I'm gonna go back to what I said earlier and to Al Davis. You know what I'm saying? First you get the coaches, then you get the players. Okay, so
coaches,
we
great players.
We working on the coaches. You know what I'm saying? We don't know if they are one and done over here, but we're gonna roll with them until otherwise.
Right. One and done to the sun.
We definitely gonna have to move on and get the players.
That's right.
Whether it's retaining the guys we currently have, or getting more. I did hear some bogus article. Some people are just writing articles just to write just to keep their boss happy. But someone was like, "Oh, the Raiders are going to be big spenders in the free agency." No, duh. When you have that many free agents of your own to take care of, how are you not going to be a big buyer?
Mm-hmm.
So it just some of this stuff it just but I will confirm that we will be buyers. Whether it's retaining our guys or bringing in somebody that we like.
Yeah. We have significant free agents that have to be brought back or should be brought back.
Uh-huh.
So what if we get one shot? Let's end with this, guys. If you could have one free agent and you only get one out of this whole pool, who do you sign? Who's your one ad? Last year we could say that one real big free agent was Christian Wilkins. I'm okay with that. This year, who is your one big, if I could have it, free agent acquisition?
Oh, excuse me. I don't know who free agents are.
Okay, well, let's look at the free agent list. 1 second. And
just off the top of my head, I'm kind of just leaning towards quarterback because if we get a quarterback, then we're not pressured in the draft to reach for one.
Let's see. Share. Thing. All right. So we're looking here. All right. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah, I could kind of see it. Yeah.
Kind of, sort of. Let's see.
All right, I don't need Sam Darnold. I don't need no Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, maybe Jameis. None of them make me want to be like I need to have them. Let's go to running backs.
Let's go ahead and grab Mariota so he can be on the staff and help to.
No, you said the one that I gotta have. So let's go. Scroll down because I don't see nobody. Hold on, let me look at the running backs. Nick Chubb. Madison weak ass. Keep going. Hopkins is nah, bro. Keep going. See. Let's see.
Tight end.
There's gonna be no lineman. Go to the. Oh gosh. None of them. It ain't gonna be a lineman, whoever it is. So.
I think it might be.
It wouldn't be. Interior defender, no. Edge rusher, Khalil Mack. Let me see. Josh Sweat, he gonna get re-signed though. Chase Young, maybe. All right, keep going. Inside. Okay, corner, DJ Reed, Ward. All right, so. Damn, that's crazy. So I'm not in love with really too many people on this list, but if I had to pick one, I'd say Khalil Mack.
There's Rusher. Los Angeles Chargers. No. Khalil Mack. Twuan, what would you say?
Part of me wants an offensive guard.
Let's look at the guards. There we go.
I'm not too versed on.
Yeah, Trey Smith has been a very, very good player for the Kansas City Chiefs for a while. He's rated the number one guard for agency for a reason. He is 25 years old at 6'6", 321 pounds. He's the player I'd like to steal from the Chiefs if we're going to steal from the Chiefs. We need this position. Their O-line could continue to kind of go down in talent level. I think he's got his best football ahead of him, and he's already pretty damn good. And you can see that when he's coming out of Tennessee, that was going to be a player that was going to probably have a positive effect on the outcome of things for his team, right? So I could definitely see us, looking at trying to bring in somebody like him in free agency. And he would be the number one guard. So I guess if you're going to have your guard, you might as well get the best one, right? So I think, that would be my suggestion if guard was the thing that we're gonna do, right? Because I get you, like that's the weak point. They're expensive now. Guards are not cheap anymore, guys. Inflation or something. It's just like blame Biden or something like that, right? And so, with guards not being cheap and we need them, then you might as well just go sign one and spend the money on it, right? And stop messing around. So I can see that as a potent reason to go snatch up somebody from a rival too. I love taking talent from the other rival team and adding it to your team, especially when it's young talent. So I think that could be win lose, which is what we want when we're messing with them. So yeah, interesting observation on what direction you would go. Man, for me, I feel like I'd lean like naturally towards more of like the defensive backfield, like the corner position, something like that. Because I feel like we got a lot of youth, at corner or whatever, but not like a ton of, veteran presence or whatever. There's like, I don't know who's the veteran or at corner, Nate Hobbs or something, right? Like, it's a pretty younger room. So I think we have the ability to just be like, hey, let's just like, throw some money at, Russell Douglas or something. We were talking about him earlier, right? Or
and he's not going to break the
right,
bank
or
either.
like even like a Paulson Adebo, or Asante Samuel, still him from the Chargers, right, junior, right?
Yeah, that might be good.
And then by having that kind of corner buffer, we don't have to go worry about it in the draft. I think we have enough young corners to see what Pete can do with them, because that's a big thing too. That Pete is going to coach up corners. Like he might be out there running drills with them or some shit. I don't know. Somehow he does it. Okay. Pete running routes. So he put his foot on the ground.
Something like a stutter.
With a stutter, and then it could be open. You're like, how did this nigga get open?
Yeah, right. If Pete Carroll get open on anybody on that field, we in trouble. We is in trouble.
And that's what compete. Okay.
I'm gonna go get one of them Raider hats like Gilly and just wear that shit all year.
Don't sleep on compete, okay?
And then I'm gonna go get a Meek Mill song or something and play that. Or Beanie Siegel. Okay, we'll do Beanie Siegel.
These are the Beanie.
We'll do Beanie Siegel.
Beanie.
But he does like working with. He likes working with DBs though.
What you say?
I said that's Pete Carroll's thing. He loves working with the DBs.
Yes. And then guys like at safety, Merrick was rated 7th here, right? Javon Holland, Buda Baker, Andre Cisco.
I liked Andre Cisco coming out the draft.
Yeah.
Me too. We know he's physically gifted too, right? I liked Javon Holland a lot too when he came out of Oregon. And who didn't like Buda Baker? But who didn't like Trayvon Merrick? He already knows Patrick Graham's thing. He's already played in the cover 3. He just got to bring Trayvon Merrick back. And it's going to cost us a pretty penny. Maybe 15 million of them. 15 billion of them. But it's okay. Because 1,500 million pennies or not, I think he's worth it.
He might, to be honest with you, I think Trayvon Merrick, because if he does come back with the Raiders, he might give a little shave, but it ain't gonna be like the homie discount. You know what I'm saying? He might, let a mil or two slide. You know what I'm saying? For the sake of bringing it, and to be honest with you, that's how I would. With all these guys, I'd be like, hey, I'm trying to bring Spillane back. I gotta pay Max. I gotta, what I'm saying? I and this is just me talking to Merrick. Hey, Merrick, I gotta bring Spillane back. I'm trying to get Nate Hobbs. I'm trying to get.
We're trying to trade for Myles Garrett.
Yeah, we still trying to be in play for Myles Garrett. So this is what we got. Mm-hmm. And he might be like, hey, if you could bring my homies back, like he might just say, if you could just bring my boys back,
I'll take 12.
Yeah, because that will be that would be still in the neighborhood. It's not like you're disrespecting him, but he still feels like, hey, I was, and then you go to Spillane. Hey, Spillane, we trying to work a deal with Merrick. We trying to work, we trying to handle Max. We trying to blah, 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 blah. Hey, this is what we, just be honest with them. Tell them the plan. You know what I'm saying? And actually try to follow through with it. You know what I'm saying? But if they do that, if they approach it like that, you might see some of the contracts like, oh dang, Spillane came in for that, or dang, oh he came in for that. Then it's like, okay, they knew that, hey, we was working together to bring the homies back, and let's see if we can make some more moves on top of that. So because they've done that before. You know what I'm saying? There was the most famous one was Gabe Jackson, Khalil Mack, and Derek Carr. They all had conversations with each other and was like, hey, we gonna take this amount, and you know what I'm saying, by this time it should be good enough for, you know what I'm saying. So
Derek Carr left some money.
Yeah, they do it like that. Yeah.
Well, he left some money, but it didn't get spent because he wouldn't answer the phone. So I don't know what Gruden did, but it was something that made Khalil Mack unwilling to even have a conversation with him. So that was strange. But it is what it is. So it's going to be interesting kind of watching this whole thing shake out. So my final thoughts would be, we are in a good position. This is a good time to kind of educate ourselves about the system we're going to run, offense and defense. Go back and watch some Ohio State games, get familiar with what Chip Kelly likes to do, maybe fall in love with Will Howard at the same time,
that's why
martini. Shaken, not stirred.
That's why y'all so high on Will Howard.
What are you talking about?
Because Chip Kelly was his offensive
coordinator. I was already before we hired Chip Kelly, go back and look at the tape. I was already on Will Howard. Okay.
No, that could be true. I'm just saying. That's why
it doesn't hurt that he knows the offense already.
No, okay.
That's all I'm saying. So go take a look at that stuff. Maybe get primed up on the cover 3 defensive philosophy. I know we kept Patrick Graham, but you're going to see some of that mixed in. I don't think you can have a Pete Carroll team that doesn't run any cover 3. The fact that we won't exclusively run it like we would have done under, say, like Gus Bradley, I think is the difference between success and failure. If a defense knows what you're doing, they will offense learns what you're doing, they're going to know how to beat it, no matter what it is, eventually. Right?
And I don't think Pete Carroll's stupid. Like, he's seen what this defense was doing. You know what I'm saying? He knew how good our defense is, so he's not going totally flip. You know what I'm saying? Our system of functionalities. You, like I said, you might see with a drink, a splash or a hint of of Pete Carroll. You know what I'm saying? But that main drink is going to be Patrick Graham.
Absolutely, because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't fix it. So we'll get to. I mean, they'll wait till they get to a place where it's obvious there needs to be more cover 3 implemented before you'd ever see him do anything like that, right? If we're struggling here and there or something like that, then Pete might come down like, hey, let's do this and that. And you know what Pete can do that our last coach can't do is pick up the play calling sheet and call plays himself. So that's an advantage of experience and actually being a coordinator and that sort of stuff. So definitely feels like the adults are in the room, in that they sent a teenager to go get a soda, right, and then lock the door. And that's cool. It's cool for once. It feels like maybe we have some momentum going the right way and it's sustainable. So we'll keep going with it, man. And then I'm excited to see what happens. And let's talk about free agency. But for me, I think it's got to be the corner position. I think if we can get, imagine we get like DJ Reed, guys. Carlton Davis. Those are very. The defense could be really difficult to handle. Obviously, we want to bring Nate Hobbs back for a slot or whatever. Although he may be able to play a lot more outside than this in the cover 3 bail, press bail, whatever, where you get out on the receiver and play behind him and that kind of stuff like that. He can do that pretty effectively. It's kind of like prototype size for that defensive alignment. So it'll be interesting how that shakes out. If he stays exclusively slot, or if we start to see Jack Jones in the slot sometimes because of that or whatever, right? So, but yeah, let's get a corner. And mostly, let's get it together. Let's get ourselves through free agency and set up for the draft where we don't have to be desperate for anything. So one from each of the position groups that we need to improve. We need a corner in free agency. We need a wide receiver in free agency. We need a running back, and we need a quarterback for sure in free agency. If we do those 4 things, then we put ourselves in a position in the draft where we don't have to reach. So, as I always say, guys, it's time to get out of here. So let's just stay positive. Because, what the heck else are we going to do? And while you're doing that,
I say ye.
Ye?
Yeah, ye. Stay positive.
Stay positive. Yeah. I mean, and while you're doing that, if you know what's happening, you got to read in between the lines. That's where it's all at right here. Put it in the lines. It's in between. And, mostly just stay hot. Good night now.